These are in pretty bad condition, as you well know. Having been in this cave for an unknowable amount of time, though it doesn't really feel like that long. Could have been 5 minutes, could have been 5 hours. Without any outside light, you don't know how long you've been here. Though shit is bad. Barrack currently partially trapped under rocks. Carrick trying to help. Ebom and
Here's a
Umar on
question.
the other side of spikes. Is
Are we in complete darkness?
uh
Did the lantern like break again?
just roll a d20. If it's above 10, the lantern's okay. Okay,
God.
so the lantern is fine, the candle is still lit.
That is the best looking lantern
Oh yeah, not
ever
a
to
scratch
exist.
on it. Somehow it
It's
survived
it's actually
unscathed.
improved. It's improved its quality.
There was a dent in it, but a rock landed on it and straightened out the dent. So you're in a pretty bad situation, and the last thing that you both heard while Beric is just waking up from being patched up and most of the rocks pushed out of the way is it the almighty crack and splintering of wood as Ebom swings up his maul towards.
What's he doing? Swinging
So
over
he's
this?
swung his maul to the roof to hit this area here.
He swung a what?
A maul, a giant
Oh, a
hammer.
maul. Oh, okay.
So he has swung for that area to hit like the wooden planks that the goblin or the kobolds are shooting at you from.
Coward.
And now we have to see what happened. But for the sake of making this slightly different from last time, we'll re-roll initiatives for like this
Oh,
section.
character sheet again.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's 10
Well, you are
going.
trapped under rocks, so it makes sense that you didn't roll
Yep.
super good.
Not that I want to be going first anyway.
True. Bomb seems like he might be going first.
Hell.
I apparently not.
Apparently not.
Wait a minute.
Indeed.
You rolled perception.
Oh, I did. Let me see what.
So, no,
His
just-
initiative
just
is
say
1,
it.
so it's a 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What gives us a +3 to our initiative?
Dexterity.
Dexterity,
Oh,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Right.
So our order is Carrick, Ebom, Kobolds, Beric, and then Umar. He seems to almost always be going last or near the end.
Bastard.
So you've just heard this thunderous crack echo from behind you, further down the tunnel. What is
Yes.
Carrick going to do?
Is Carrick stable? Can't
Beric
remember.
is stable and conscious, though there are a few rocks like trapping his
I love
feet.
the way
So
that was Carrick asking if Carrick was stable.
Oh shit, Barrack, yeah, my bad. Here, you've done it the first.
but
Andrew's made the same mistake.
like his feet would still be trapped, but he's not bleeding out or
Oh.
anything.
Dead ass free his feet. We must move.
That would be some athletics to haul the remainder of the rocks out of the way.
Oh god, please don't crush me with more rocks.
Okay, you managed to eventually taking pretty much the whole turn to push the boulders and rocks and debris out of the way, freeing his feet. So Beric is now no longer trapped under the fallen rubble.
Yay.
Do you want
Can I
to say
walk?
anything?
No, can you?
Um, you're a bit stiff, but you would be able to walk. Maybe only at 20 feet of movement rather than 30, but
Okay.
you're alive and your legs aren't broken. It's very
Thank you,
sore and
Beric.
bruised.
I thought I
No
was a
problem.
goner. Let's get the fuck out of this cave.
Damn right.
Where are the others?
Do not know. Hopefully they killed those eel things or whatever the frig they were, and Hopefully they're coming toward. Well, actually, no. Don't know. Let's go.
We
Okay.
should make our way back.
So you're turning to look back down the tunnel where you came from?
Yeah.
Okay, so as you've got pulled out and you both look down the tunnel, all you see is a lot of like dust and debris floating in the air, kind of floating down your direction. There's dust from your side and dust from that side. Your vision is pretty much almost fully obscured at this point.
Okay.
As you hear a very angry Airborne shouting up, "Die, tiny people!" and can't
Oh,
really
dear.
tell what's going on the other side. But okay.
Yeah.
Well, that one.
Javelin? What is happening?
He has
Yeah.
javelins. So
He is.
Oh, he has javelins. Okay.
Or harpoon, shall we
yeah,
say?
well, they're harpoons, but they're using javelins. But here a slump coming down through the tunnel above you. And after that shrill little squeak, you don't hear any other signs of the kobolds. It's now Beric's turn to do something.
Hey, Bob!
You're going to have to toss me.
Okay,
Hey, Bob!
as you're staggering through the tunnel,
Omar!
roll some perception to kind of see how stable the rest of the tunnel looks,
Perception.
since it's already cracked from your bomb.
Oh,
Oh,
dear.
the smoke is, the dust and smoke, it's just too thick, and you're still dazed, vision blurred as you're stumbling along
You
this
couldn't
tunnel.
spot a whore in a brothel.
You can vaguely see a figure through the dust, but you can't really tell who it is.
Is this like a mine now?
You can't really see just yet. Like, the dust is thick and you're just stumbling along, barely even being able to see your own feet. So you can't see if the...
Or any of them
There's
replying to me
anything
now?
not just yet. You can just hear the angry screams of Airborne and something whiz up through the air in front of you. Is there
Okay,
anything else
well.
you'd like to try and do?
Nope.
Okay, so as you're staggering along, shouting out, you then hear it seems almost distant voice echo out through the cave in your direction. You can't really tell whose voice it is since you're still pretty stunned and dazed, but it does shout out, "What happened? Is everyone fine?" But you would be hearing more of since you're dazed. Carrick would understand the words though. Just think of like in movies where like a grenade or something goes off and there's ringing and you
Oh,
can't
you're
really
basically
hear the
deaf.
people. Like you're very stunned from the collapse of the cave. Might have got hit on the head with a rock. It's dazed you a bit.
I don't know.
But there are
Retarded.
voices
Minus
shouting down the
4
tunnel.
now.
Carrick can understand that Airborne is screaming and raging, throwing something up at the kobolds, and Umar is shouting down that if there's like anyone still alive. And it's back to Carrick's turn.
Okay. Yep. Yeet. Wait, how far was that?
20 foot.
And then this is.
So
Andrew, would I be
roll-
allowed to?
Roll perception first.
Oh, perception. Character sheet. There we go. Ah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
positive.
trying to get your way through the dust and smoke that's still hanging in the air, you can see the edge of the pit that
Yes.
you had to jump over. And you can't see far into it. There's a lot of smoke and dust hanging over the edge, but you can just barely see the ledge where it drops off. It's unclear if it's full, if it's still empty, but looking up, you do see some of the splintered planks hanging down into your vision.
Oh shit. So if I were to jump, I could hit a plank and then just fall on my ass.
Oh, you could just swing up with a blade and attack one of the planks. They're hanging like down in your like striking range.
Okay, we'll just cut them down then.
So
I
you
have to roll
swing
an attack.
just attack to see if you can hit it in your
Sure.
obscured vision.
So
Okay, so one of the planks looks like it's half hanging on by part of the wood. Swing up, hack into it a bit, and you hear the slight splintering and snapping of wood as the remainder of the hanging off plank drops down into the pit. And it's a good long plank. This one's maybe like 5 foot long or so when it drops. And you can see as it falls into the dust and smoke filled pit, maybe about a foot or so of it is sticking back out your direction, still visible.
So there's a 4-foot drop.
Yeah, so the pit isn't full, but it's not, it's like half filled up. It's no longer like an 8 or 9 foot pit, it's like 4, maybe 5 foot in some places. Anything else you'd like to attempt to do or shout out to the remainder of the people? I'm assuming that is a no.
oh, sorry. Is it clear? Hey, Bob.
I don't see no scalies. There's no tiny people.
I can't see fucking anything.
And
Did all the planks fall beneath, or?
you hear a bit of a scuffle, and you see like two figures kind of through the smoke, but not defined features. But you hear the voice of Amar shot out from the other side. Looks like the big guy dropped all the planks. Might be able to climb up, but it would be dangerous if you fell. The spikes are still there, but they're not as
Ooh,
deadly.
I could use my grappling hook and my rope.
Well, that's a good idea. Yes, let's do that.
Okay. Airbomb is sounding like grappling hook. Like a harpoon on a rope for whaling.
Jeez.
I like this idea. So he is gonna hold his turn until you attempt to grappling hook your way out of the tunnel.
Okay.
Do you hear
I'm
the
assuming-
skittering of feet and claws up above you as small figures are running
Bastards.
about frantically, but it's hard to tell exactly where they might be.
Hmm.
Though it is now Beric's turn.
What should we do? We could grapple through the ceiling, or we could lift one of these planks out of the hole, and then we could walk across, and then walk back around the way we came.
The pit's a bit too big for any
the
one of the
plank.
planks.
Damn it! Grappling hook it is.
So you're gonna pull it out, tie your. You have the silk rope, I believe.
Yeah.
So you're gonna tie on your rope and then swing it and chuck it up.
Yep.
Okay. Make a
Sleight of hand.
just a dexterity. It's not really a. Oh. So as you throw it up, you chuck it up. You feel it get purchased. Tug on it, but you're like, yeah, this is gonna hold my weight. And then just before you step out, you just see the grappling hook fly back down. And a snicker from up above. As one of the kobolds is standing up top, grabbed it and chucked it back down towards you.
What a dick.
I'll get him next time.
Is there anything else you'd like to try and do for the
I'm
remainder of
assuming
your
I
turn?
can't. Can I? Do I have to wait until my next turn? But can I throw, like where I heard the snickering? Can I like throw the grappling hook up that way, and then just quickly tug and see if I can pull the kobold
You
down?
could try and get the kobold. You would need to roll, like, to try and actually catch him with it, you'd need to roll with disadvantage, and he'd get a cover bonus since you can't see him. But you could try and get him. You do have a rough feeling like he is coming from the side that you swung it up to, so got a rough idea of where he might be.
Can I just try it again then?
Yeah, you might as well. No one's really doing anything until
No
you
one can
get
really
this
do
up.
anything until I
Well, we're not
succeed,
really
so-
doing shit, yeah.
So at disadvantage, dexterity.
Damn!
Oh damn! So you swing it up again, and you feel something tugging against you, and then you go to yank it down, and the grappling hook just flies down again. And another, a couple of sniggers and laughs from up on top.
Fuck these little kobolds.
Someone else could always try and throw it up, because you are still quite dazed and disorientated.
Wait a minute, I have an idea. Hey, Bob!
Huh?
I'm gonna throw you the hook over, and then we can climb out of the. We can use the rope to climb out from your side as long as you can hold our weight.
You, no, the smoke's clearing. You see him start nodding. Okay.
Right, throw him the grappling hook.
That's not a hard throw, so you just
Yeah,
swing it
I was
out.
gonna say.
He grabs onto it.
Maybe get. Maybe more, you might want to grab onto it too, just in case.
So the two of them grab on tight to the grappling hook and the rope.
Right, Kark, you go first.
So
Just grab the rope, swing across, hit the other side of the pit, and then climb up the rope.
Right.
Or should
So-
I go first, just in case anything goes wrong?
what are you trying to do?
Right, so basically they're gonna hold their side of the rope, and then we're gonna like grab onto the rope on our side and drop it into the pit, and then we'll swing the 4 foot and then hit the obviously side of the dirt wall with our feet, and then we'll be able to just climb up the rope.
Well, they're like at the same height as you are.
I know,
And the-
but there's a drop into the pit.
Yeah, but the pit's like a 4 foot drop. So if you tried to swing the 4 foot drop, you've got 10 foot of rope to try and swing over the 4 foot. So you drop and immediately hit the bottom
But we've got it tensioned.
at 10 foot. That's like you've got that much rope to try and swing, but as soon as you swing down, you'd just be dropping into 4 foot. There's nowhere for you to like swing the 10 foot of the rope down.
Damn
Like-
it.
You'd hit the ground like halfway along. If they were higher up, it would work. But there's nowhere to really get the swing to
Well, could we
swing along.
could we not just lower into the pit?
You could just try and step in and avoid the spikes as you like drop the 4 foot in and just walk across over the rubble.
Or Kark, unless you want to give it a go with the grappling hook up through the hole.
I'll pass.
Okay. We'll just try to get both of us into the pit and then climb out of it without getting spiked to death.
Okay. There is rubble to step on, so it'll just be a straight acrobatics to step in and use the rubble to like step stone your way across through the spikes and Not
Just
slip.
normal acrobatics, yeah.
just normal acrobatics, which I think is really good for both of you. Like that, yes. So Barrett steps across using the rubble, fallen rocks, fallen planks. You manage to step your way across. A-bomb reaches out his maul for you to grab onto and then helps
Ugh.
pull you up onto the other side.
Yeah.
Giggity.
And then his character gonna follow, stepping lightly through the
Why
spikes.
the hell not? Have to roll shit at some point, don't I? Acrobatics?
Yep.
Ah, frig. Falling in.
Not exactly. So as you're stepping along, like you are light of foot and quite swift as a half elf with your elven blood, you get about halfway across, and then you hear some sort of strange scraping rolling noise as you're about
Oh,
maybe there, and then from above you, you see a barrel drop down
oh,
as a
bastard.
kobold rolled it off the edge, trying to hit you both as you're stepping across.
What a dickhead.
So you'll need to do a dexterity save to dodge the barrel.
Ability save. Ha!
So you quickly
Hit on
reach
that
out,
barrel.
grab onto A-Bomb's hammer, who yanks you out of the pit, out of the way of the barrel as it smashes down onto the spikes. And you see a kobold snarl and run off over the edge of the pit, out of sight.
What a dick.
So, we will restart our initiative order back with a Carrick on top. You might want to discuss your plan now that you're all safe.
Right.
I say we head back to the bedchamber.
Yeah.
Clear it out. Rest a while.
So we head back to the bedchamber, secure the place, get some rest, and then try to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Okay. This is just gonna take your time to
Oh, each
walk your way up.
Yep.
Well, are we gonna do it like 30 foot by 30 foot, or
Just like tell me what you're gonna do for like each part. So this room, it's this room here. Is there anything you want to specifically do or look for in that room?
this is not clean water, so
Uh,
pretty useless.
We'll
Cowl traps.
go.
Be careful. Be careful of cowl traps.
We'll go up to the water, pray that nothing attacks us in the water, go along it to miss the caltrops that are here.
Well, the cowl traps here under, or are they in the water?
They're on the edge. You could walk slow enough and just step between them and get
Ah, frig,
past.
we'll do that then.
I will do
Do
that
that.
then, and then
Sucker in.
down here, I think
Fish.
all the traps have been activated, and then basically start us off. Probably, assuming.
Okay, so is there
Yeah.
anything you want to look for within that tunnel, or just yeet your way across as fast as you can?
Just be careful of tripwires that we may or may have not missed the first time. Don't
I
know.
feel like there definitely should not be any tripwires unless the
I feel like we
culprits have been-
triggered them all.
Yeah, we
but-
triggered the one that was here, and like I mean, we were walking sort of fine here, like so. I feel like we should be good. Just be wary of traps, but you know, moving at a steady pace.
Okay, just roll some perception then as you're keeping your eye out for anything that might be in your way.
Ah, not great.
9.
Oh, damn,
20.
he sees all.
So, as you're moving along down the path, you do see that
That's
There's
two
no
20s.
traps,
Oh,
there's
we could roll
no-
2 1s.
obstructions of any kind, though there are fresh kobold tracks going the way you're heading and towards you and off into that door that you'll be walking past. So
Well,
there's
I'll just
there's,
wait around.
there's tracks that have been coming this way and out that door, and then tracks coming in this door and round the path. There's quite a few of them.
New
Okay.
tracks.
Fresh tracks that weren't there before. Like you can tell these ones are quite new. Some of them actually have like stepped in blood and there's like little specks of blood in the tracks, so you're confident they're fresh.
Okay, we will proceed.
Yeah, we'll proceed to about down here somewhere, where so we're gonna bump into some peoples.
Yeah, so when you get to the split in the path. What do you want to do next?
We'll get Tarek to cover the left side,
With a bow.
and me, Umbar, and Airbomb will rush the big room.
Okay. So you guys are all gonna, while he's watching the
Well, I
path, make your way in.
would like to look up here with my bow and make sure I do not see any more gay kobolds, but can never be too careful.
I'll tell Airbomb to lift. Is there anything heavy that looks like in this room?
The only heavy-ish
Like at the chest?
looking things would be like the wooden chests and lockboxes.
Right.
Nothing else really seems like
How
it
about-
has any weight to it.
Lift. I'm gonna get Airbomb to lift them 3 chests and put them in front of that doorway, and then cover it in a few of them rug things as well, so they can't look through the slit.
Okay, so pile up these
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
So which three are the three closest to the door? Just like stacked up on top of the other.
Yeah.
Okay, the door isn't really that big, so it's pretty easy to stack them up and cover the whole door. But her A-bomb is intrigued by what might be inside the boxes before he stacks them up.
No, Airbomb! No!
So we'll do a wisdom save for each box to see would he resist.
Is he gonna check
opening
all of
them.
them?
So he resists box number 1 closest to the door. He resists box number 2. He does not resist box number 3. And then
Box
he
number
looks at
four.
box number 4 and does not want to open it. So he only really wants to open the third box.
He must now roll a dexterity.
So as he's looking at it, he doesn't really know how to open locks. So you see him just bring down his maul, smash the lock, and pull the chest open to look inside. And this is another one of the trap chests. It was number 1 and number 3. 2 and 4 were fine.
The chances.
Yep, he rolled not so not as good on that one. But he flings it open, and you hear another thump as a dart flies out of the chest towards Abob, who is a very large target, tries to get out of the way, and takes the dart into the side of his neck, and
Uh-oh.
you see him stagger back your direction, and then fall onto his back. And roll some perception, Jacob, as Beric's walking up towards Ebom. So, as you're stepping up, and you see Ebom fall, who had been walking this way around looking at each of the boxes, as he falls back, you just hear a snap, and he gets hoisted up in a net, up into the roof, about 10 foot up, where there is a net trap on the ground right there. But he walked around it, and then fell backwards into it. So
Fuck's sake.
Evom has now been seemingly knocked unconscious and hoisted
Right.
upwards.
Tarek!
Yes.
Get back into this room. Take those 2 boxes you were looking at earlier and fill that gap up a bit. Umar,
Okay.
Umar, take the rest of those boxes and cover that door up.
I'm assuming, Andrew, you can't move these boxes.
I can move boxes, yeah.
Oh, you can.
Sure, like kind of stacked them on top of each other and blocked the door.
Which one had the dart in it before I stack it? Would like
Do you want to try and
assemble that.
disassemble it?
Yeah, see how good I do if
At
I
the
fuck it up.
fucking time!
You can
Well,
try and
we're not in.
roll some
not in
sleight of
combat.
hand and like disarm and dismantle the trap if you want.
Get him to put that one over there too, Andrew.
Okay.
Ha! 22.
Right. Try to cut So I need to find where the.
Yes, you need to find the mechanism that's holding the net up.
Or help me try to cut this big oaf down.
Umar starts he's like, okay, we got this. You already saw this trap before. How did it work?
I can't remember.
Roll advantage on it, because
Oh.
you only saw this trap not that long ago. Okay, Umar's assisting you, so you are both looking around and you see that there's a similar small slit in the wall where you can see one of the ropes has been pushed into it that seems to be going up, running into some tunnel above the ceiling and then dropping down where it's holding the net up. Off, maybe over.
Yeah.
I can see
I shall
that.
use my
Over here
thieves' tools to. Oh, it's
to
over
disarm
here.
it.
Yes, I will use my thieves' tools to disarm it.
Okay. Make your roll.
Boom.
Okay, so pretty easily, after already doing it once, you sneak in one of your small, narrow, like almost like little hooks and pull the rope forward and manage to slide in a small blade to cut it. And as it starts to drop, Umar tries to break Ebob's fall so he doesn't get completely wrecked as he lands.
That must be an interesting sight.
It is quite an interesting sight, but let me see how he does here. He does pretty well. He manages to like kind of put some weight underneath his like main body as he falls down, so he doesn't just slam and whack his head off the ground.
Can we
But-
both try to
Yeah, roll some
fix
medicine
them up?
to see if you can stabilize him. Okay, so Ebom has been stabilized. You find all the cuts and the burn of acid across his legs, and start as best you can trying to ramp him up.
Jesus, what?
Trying
What
to
happened to
avoid
him?
the no clothes from the bottom, from like the waist down, since they have been dissolved by acid. It's quite a sight.
He has no
God.
penis.
But you
Is
do.
it? Omar, is it supposed to look like that?
He just shakes his head in bewilderment. I don't know.
He can no longer mate.
I got a feeling that might be right. And he's managed to patch up his cuts, stop the bleeding, and you see his eyes slowly blink awake, and he's like, I was having a nice dream.
Hmm.
I was killing lots of small scaly people. It was fun.
Well, we're still in that dream, I think.
Ooh.
But we need to rest up. So,
Pardon me.
Carrick, you take the first watch. Let us get some rest.
Andrew, how did I get on with the blow dart thing?
Oh, you've got like a small little tube that looks like it could be used as like a blow dart gun, though there were no more darts with it. It was a single shot dart.
It was a single shot. Yeah, okay.
And the way the trap seemed to have worked was when you lifted the lid, the dart was like embedded in the ground, or the blowgun was in the ground in like a little hole. So when you lifted up the lid of the chest, it pushed down like a rod, which pushed onto those like bellows where you squeeze them together and they blow out the air. Pushed down on one of those, which then shot the dart out your direction. So there's the bellows, which isn't very good quality, and the little tube the dart was shot through, which isn't very good quality either.
Oh well. Primitive.
Do you want to actually keep it?
If it's shit, then probably not.
I think you could try and use it as a weapon, but you'd need to go and buy darts.
Darts. Fuck it now.
Okay. So what kind of rest are you trying to take? Just a short break to recover some health with your hit dice?
Well, is it warm in here? I'm assuming it's warmer in here than it is outside.
Yeah, there's the 3 still low burning fires in the tunnel.
I will just keep those. If I have to throw some rugs in the fire, I will do that. Do you have any firewood?
There's a couple small piles of like sticks and logs that look like they're the firewood
I'll
piles.
just keep the fire going. What do you mind?
Well, you only really need to keep one going, like, realistically.
Alright. We'll do that.
So everyone gathers
And
around.
we'll not be here for too long. We're only gonna rest for maybe like. Well, I don't know. Do you want to try to get like a full sleep, or do you want to just rest for like half an hour and then move on?
You need to stop for like maybe around 15 minutes, and you could use your dice to try and heal up.
I know, but I mean, if we're resting now and then
Well, if you
Alright,
aren't
that's
doing
fine.
anything, you would all be resting, as long as nothing happens. So he could like stand looking down the tunnel on watch, and since it's a short rest, that would still be his short rest, since he's just sitting there like not actually partaking in any strenuous activity apart from just sitting there. But if something were to happen, like you got attacked, or you had to run or something, then your timer would reset. So, gotta start your short 15-minute break to try and recover, like get your breath back, maybe patch yourself up a bit more and get ready for what's next. Oh.
I think we should like do a full rest.
God damn internet
Oh, he's
dying on me.
Oh, he's back. He's back.
Okay. What was the last thing you heard?
I asked what time of day it was, but I'd probably
There's
call
no
bullshit
way
on
to know.
myself. No, I don't know. Yeah, false. Realistically, we're just discussing between ourselves whether to rest full or rest a little bit.
So, for the short rest, if you take 15 minutes to do nothing, no like fighting, no running, no strenuous activity at all, you can use your dice to get health back. Though if anything does happen during that time, you need to restart your
Okay.
rest.
How about this, right? We'll rest for 15 minutes. And depending on how we all feel as in how many HP points we get back,
Yep,
then we'll decide what to do from there.
Okay.
that's fair enough.
And for like a full long rest, you'd need to have 6 uninterrupted hours of nothing happening.
Jeez.
Where you would need to take it in turns to like
That is a
sleep to
lot.
get like at least maybe 4 hours sleep.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you got to the 5-hour mark
Mm-hmm.
and you just got attacked, you would have to pretty much completely restart, or whoever was awake and didn't have already got 4 hours sleep would not get anything.
Yeah,
So it can be dangerous.
yeah.
So is it gonna sit down and take your break?
Yep.
Is there anything you'd like to try and do while you're resting yourselves?
Not really. Not for me, anyway.
Okay. So while you're sitting waiting for the first, maybe around 10 minutes, nothing happens. And around that time, you do start seeing the door that you blocked up start to budge a bit and bang off the boxes, but whatever's pushing can't seem to get the door pushed open.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I'm not worried.
You're just gonna wait.
Yep, them little fuckers can't open that.
The door does start pushing more violently and with more force, slowly and gradually. And you hear scrabbling and arguing as the door goes from like being lightly banged against the boxes to a lot more forcefully being banged against the boxes. And
Right. That's good.
though whatever's banging against it, it just like knocks the boxes slightly, so there's like a little 1 inch gap, but can't push it anymore.
Wait, which
Is
one? In front of me at
the
the
other
minute,
one.
No,
or
no, the one at the door.
This is the door
There's
over
4
here.
boxes though. Them little fucking rat bastards aren't gonna be moving that.
do you know what I'm gonna do? Out of pure comedy, I'm just gonna put my boot on it. Put my boot on.
Okay.
No, it
Oh.
involves doing something.
No, that's
Oh,
not
wait.
strenuous. But
Well,
roll
I was just resting my foot.
You just
Roll-
sit on it.
roll
Just sit on it.
perception.
Oh yeah,
as
sit
you're-
on it. Sit on it is
Sit,
much
sit
more.
on the trap box, and then you just get shot up the hole.
So roll perception as you're taking your rest.
Ah.
Rolling a 20.
Nice. So as you're sitting there, you hear the scrabbling.
I rolled for.
You hear the scrabbling, the arguing, the chattering from behind the door suddenly stop. And then you get a slight whiff in your nose, and it smells a bit like smoke.
Well, aren't we opposite of fire?
No, like, not that fire smoke. Like, this is more like damper wood, not the like dry firewood that you're burning, but coming more from the direction where Carrick is sitting. Is completely oblivious to it. You've almost got like directional scent. You're just like, it's that way. I smell that there is a new source of smoke entering the room.
They're gonna burn the door down.
You see Eva
Carrick.
and Umar like look at each other, then look back to you like, wait, what?
Can't smell that?
It's very, very faint. You can barely smell it
Is it-
yourself.
Is it
Have a
smoke?
look at the back of those boxes. Do you see any smoke?
I will peek long and no, not peek long, peek short, and see what I see. Perception.
No, not for this. You've been informed about what you're looking for.
Been informed.
So as you start looking over the boxes, you see that there is quite a small amount of smoke starting to come into the cracks in the side of the door, the top of the door, and the bottom, slowly pouring in and reaching up to the top of the ceiling and spreading out to meet the other smoke at the top.
I'm assuming we haven't
Hmm.
rested enough at this point.
Almost. You're close to being rested enough.
There's no water in here, is there? No.
The only room with water is the one where the leeches were.
Yeah.
We could just chill out here in the smoke and just be like, yo, we're fine, base, and then just leave.
I will cut up a spare cloak and put it over my mouth and cut up some extra ones for my comrades. Just to ventilate.
So you're cutting up
myself
what?
a bit. Cutting up spare bits of rag.
He's
Well,
just covering a rag over his mouth.
rag
and
over your
then-
mouth, basically, for the
You're
power.
taking like the ones from the kobold beds.
Yes. Just cut it up.
Fuck, you're keen.
And everyone else has to agree. Umar seems to not like the idea of taking the kobold's bedding. Ebom doesn't care.
No way. I'm not putting that.
Umar
Those
does
are
take some of his like
best.
his normal clothes, and
Wait, do I not just have rags? That would be a lot safer.
you have your old clothes.
I'll cut them up then.
So you take like your common clothes, like your more expensive ones that you paid for.
I'm sure I'm wearing fine clothes now. I'm not a peasant.
Well, you've got
anymore.
your fine traveler's clothes, and then you've got your winter clothes. You're currently wearing the winter's clothes.
Don't I
Can I
don't
not
have
have
like a mask anyway.
Yeah, you've got your. Oh, you could use your hoods.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
what
hi,
this
yeah,
is.
we'll just use them.
So you both wrap your hoods around. Ebon still seems to be tying one of these skins from the kobolds around his face. And Umar takes out like his shirt and rips off one of the sleeves from his common clothes and ties it around his face. So while you're getting that done, you can start to see the smoke more. And as it's pouring in through the door and creeping along the top of the ceiling, it starts to slowly drop down, and there's almost a greenish look to it. It's not like normal smoke. There is something off about it. And it's slowly drifting down, maybe about a foot above your heads at the minute, whereas the rest of the smoke is all flowing up and resting at the top of the ceiling.
Hmm. We haven't rested yet, have we?
You would need like 1 more minute.
Fuck you, Yonder.
To
Right.
pick what to do. As long as
Time
you
to get the
just
fuck out of here.
walk your way out and not like go sprinting like madmen, then you'll be okay.
Alright. Guys, let's get the shit out of here and move to that other storage room. I push these
Climb
crates
over the
out of way
boxes.
and
I'm really sad. We're not gonna get anything out of this.
Just-
Me,
just
me.
what are you talking about, Macaulay? Stop
Need
being an
loot.
idiot.
Need loot.
Throw them boxes that way and be like, Bice, Maul.
Okay.
I don't feel like getting poisoned or,
So-
remembering that there was herbs and stuff in that
Mushrooms.
yeah, I don't want to get knocked unconscious with that stuff and lizardmen to fuck my corpse. So
So just to make sure, make a advantaged constitution saves with a very low pass rate. Extremely low. If you feel I will be surprised.
Double ones. Oh my
Fuck.
god.
God damn it, Mackay.
That was close.
You really had to roll that low. Yeah, that's
Wait a
good.
minute. Was the 3 a 1? It was, wasn't it? Because it was 2.
I think
Yep.
so, yeah.
There's a 1.
So, what's his advantage? Oh, good thing he had advantage.
Oh, he's not the only one. To roll a 1.
Umar
To roll a 1.
is fine. So, as everyone's making their way out of the room with the smoke spreading across it, Carrick starts to cough a little bit. It's not a bad cough, but it feels as though like something's almost stuck in your lungs. And you take 1 point of damage from this strange green smoke, since you were the closest to it. It seems as though it caught you first. As you start exiting the room.
Okay.
So,
Let's
where do you want
dead
to...
ass. Get our asses out of here.
Make that a bitch. Right. So
I don't know
wanna
if
bail
I have
into
the most
I wanna
health in the
bail
party
into
or
this
not.
room, Andre.
Okay. So,
Oh, the one with all
who's-
the oil.
who's going first, second, third?
I'll
I
go
will go
first.
last.
Car can go last. And just any order. if they-
Yeah, are you being sneaky about this?
Yes.
Okay. So before you roll stealth, as you're walking past that point where Carrick is, you do see the wooden slots seem to be slightly blackened, as there's maybe a 2 or 3 inch like divot in the dirt where the dirt has been scraped out to the sides. And the planks underneath that the kobolds were shooting through at Ebom are blackened and charred as he tried to burn them with his torch.
Bastard. Right, okay.
Though, roll your stealths as you're creeping up on the door.
Oh, sorry.
Uh,
Didn't mean to do that, but it doesn't really matter, I
Roll
guess.
the same thing. Oh,
also a 24. Keepers, 217s.
Emma. Oh,
No,
the big man.
since that guy with no deck has no stealth abilities at all.
So, as you're creeping along, you maybe get halfway to the tunnel, and then Evom's just like, "Oh, my God, don't feel good, so good," and then just rips one. That's like the almightiest fart you've ever seen, and Umar just drops to his knees, going, "Oh, oh,
It's in my eyes! It's in my eyes!
and he's like retching on his hands and knees on the ground, like, "God, what the fuck did you eat? Oh, I'm gonna be sick. Oh my God."
I think the question might be, what didn't he eat?
And as you yourself, you're like, "Ah, fuck," and then before you get to that corner, you start hearing little scratches of feet and chattering and calling and talking back and forth from around the corner. And the rolling of something rolling along the wood. Do you want to peek?
Rolling along the wood?
Or rolling along the stone?
I'll peek around the corner.
Roll perception. Okay, so you peek around, trying to stay as hidden as best you can and get a glance around. Taking like a quick, like half a second look around the wall. You do get a glimpse of two kobolds rolling along some of the barrels from the room in your direction. The same barrels that had been pushed down and knocked Carrick over. Or tried to knock Carrick over.
Hold up. Cover the rear. Carrick, over here and get your bow ready.
So I'll move everybody back to closer
Yeah.
to where they would be. So you'd be peeking. Farting Man would be there.
Peek long and
So you're now
shove
gonna
it
come up and try and peek around the corner.
whilst drawing the bow. Ready to take a
Oh,
target.
You do have a
Okay.
feeling that they probably heard the fart and the coughing. So they might have a good idea
might
that
take
you're
out an-
there.
Arrow in the gut.
Well, basically, you move out, take a shot, and I'm gonna rush round this corner, try to throw one of my
Yeah.
dags at.
Just back up a wee bit. Right. What do I see?
So you're gonna peek around the corner.
Yes, while drawing. Ready to take a shot.
Just let me do my thingy. So as you peek around, you see that there's a barrel that has been rolled along the ground with a kobold that's crouching behind it with its shield up and ready, chattering it over its shoulder, to another kobold sitting behind a barrel with its bow at the ready. Moving,
I'm assuming I can't shoot past the first buddy to hit the buddy behind.
you could try
Oh,
to.
you can, but it'll probably get covered.
The
Eh,
almighty
worth it.
fart that echoed through the tunnels might have alerted them to your presence.
Oh, you
coming.
did.
So,
won't
which one
die.
are you shooting for?
Archer.
Okay, so even with him hiding as best he could behind this barrel, you see like the head peek up for a second to try and spot you. Roll your damage.
Don't
What are
fuck
you on
me,
about?
game.
The arrows just went straight through the fucking barrel, straight out the other side, and just straight through his head.
No additional dice, Andrew, for being near a comrade. No.
No, the combat
No.
needs to be near the enemy.
Ah.
So, as you see this head like peek up to get a glance at you before it draws its own bow and shoots, your arrow just flies straight across and sinks straight into the kobold's neck, and it slumps forward onto its barrel, which starts rolling across the ground.
Does it roll into the cobalt in front of
It
him?
only
He's
rolls
gonna have to make.
maybe a foot or two.
Oh, I wanted an acrobatic saving throw.
Not from the kobold, not this time. What is
Oh.
Beric going to do?
I'm
I
going
love-
to just try. Charge!
So you're gonna run out?
Yep. Charge into melee combat.
Okay. Make your swings.
Oh, that's a miss.
So you swing the first, and the kobold manages to bring its makeshift wooden shield up and catch your first blade. But
Holy!
is not ready for the
holy.
second blade
Oh,
as you cut into him. As you're like slicing down, hacking into like the corner between its shoulder and its neck, you see it bring a club out to try and smack you, but it just dings off your breastplate as the kobold slides off your blade and bleeds out on the floor. It just slumps there.
Yeah.
And the barrel just rocks a slight bit to the side.
Nice one. Now we're gonna have to wait 15 minutes again.
Oh, the other two ones.
Yeah, we will.
These are the wrong barrels. It's the other barrels. Because those are the barrels that might have blew up. Okay. So with the threat eliminated, what are you gonna do next?
I'm gonna move some of them barrels.
These ones at the top are the ones that got exploded by the trap.
Alright,
earlier.
so
And then the ones
are
over
these both burnt?
these ones, they're burnt, but there's still like the charred remains that are mostly intact. They're just like blackened. And then the ones at the bottom are okay, and then these ones are okay, and then these two they were rolling are okay.
Okay. Carrick, take them barrels they were taken and try to block up this corner.
Oh, this is. How wide is this? Check.
Wide enough that you could block it.
Okay, let's.
Then I'll
did
take
it,
these
did it,
crates
did
and
it,
put them
did
in
it,
front of
did
this
it.
door again. While we're doing this, we'll let A-Bomb and Umar rest to let them recover, and then when they've recovered, then we will swap.
Umar is staying quite a distance away from A-Bomb, who still stinks quite a bit from whatever he'd been eating. So we will roll A-Bomb's dice first. Hits 4, 16. Need a calculator to see how much this is. Because he's got one more and I don't want to waste it if he's gonna.
It's 42 so far. No.
It's 30 so far.
Yeah.
So one more. Yeah, 30 each. That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Wait, did he? Oh my god.
What's his max health? 40 something?
47. So he's at 30
My
now.
god. That's insane.
He's a barbarian. They're big giant bags of hit points.
He technically has like 80 health of his rage.
Yeah, but his
Take half
armor is
that.
lower than both of yours. And he can't really get any better armor,
Because this whole thing's about being
having no armor.
no armor.
So
Uh,
at higher levels, barbarians are the easiest ones to hit, but they've got a lot of health. Umar does seem to have recovered pretty well. Like, he's got exactly what he needed to get back to full health.
Okay. So we'll swap out the guard then, and we'll put Umar in the sort of garden about here. We'll put Bomb sort of keeping an eye on
Umar
the door.
seems to be pleased about being away from Air-Bomb. And Air-Bomb, he just sits down in the box and is like, no Scaly's getting in this way. Just sits on the box with his back up against the door.
300
Bomb, if you
pounds.
see any of that gas stuff again, remember this. Tell me.
I make some good gas.
Please don't.
Oh. So you're gonna try and finish up the remainder of
better
your
rest.
rest. So
Yep.
sitting around, you don't seem to hear any more noise from the kobolds, from what you can tell. Throughout the cave. So you can now roll your dice. You both have 2d8s and 2d10s. And you can use as many as you want. So, 6, 2,
Do the math.
6, 9, 23.
It is indeed.
Takes me up to
I'm not
20.
saying that's like 6 off my max health. I'd be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, but you're a ranger though. You can stay back. I'm like a melee dude. That's like half my health.
What? That's insane.
You just rolled really bad on your health rolls. But you never know,
I
you
know.
could roll high ones
It's
later on.
statistically bullshit. You know what I mean? No, Andrew, I have no hope. I have no hope for these shitty D10s and
Yeah.
D8s.
Right.
Well, we'll
roll your
see.
dice.
What does one have to roll?
2d8s, 2d10s. You can use 3, you can use 2, you can use all of them.
What's that up to?
So that's already 12. Do you want to use the rest?
Oh, what?
You're at 19.
7 is 19.
You
Oh,
might
I
as
need
well.
not. I'm gonna. What have I got? 1d10?
2d10s.
2d.
So you're at 26.
Frigate. Yeah,
Okay,
only
so
2 over.
29.
Max health.
So everybody seems to have recovered pretty well throughout your short break. It doesn't seem as though there's anyone about. There's no noise from any kobolds or anything that you can hear at the minute.
Okay. We ready to move out?
Airborne just cracks his knuckles, gets his maul ready. I'm ready to smash some more scalies.
Let's kill the rest of these cunts.
So what paths do you want to take?
I'm really sad.
We're gonna go this way. And
This is blocked. Can we
Could
go
do
back to
it.
here?
gonna
Oh wait, no,
stand
there's
here
acid.
and like air bomb. You went down the other passage, right?
There was acid. Acid bad.
What about after that? Did you go any further?
Shot me with pointy sticks from the roof. Fucking scalies.
From the roof, you say. And what was after that? Did you go any further?
Lots of rocks. Lots of holes in the wall.
Hmm.
Didn't look like the kind of holes I like. So I went the other way.
Probably.
You think we're getting close?
Probably. But that could be dangerous. So let's see what we're up against. Right. Push these barrels into this gap.
Okay.
Down to here.
Back. Get out of the way. Trying to select the bow. Back. Get the fuck.
Stop manhandling me!
You're too close to the barrels apparently.
He's in the walls! No!
Oh!
How far do you want to bring the barrels?
Yeah, no, that's exactly
Literally
what I
there.
want.
There.
Right. So I can obviously see the wooden planks here.
Yeah, the charred wood as well.
Break it down. Man.
Take the see if we can take the planks out.
You'll need to roll.
Car, give me a hand with this.
Roll
Did you ask
some.
the big guy?
Well, when you're looking at them, like they're not just like laid down. These planks go the whole way, like this way, like from in the dirt this side, going across in the dirt this side. They're big, long planks that have been blackened along in the middle, so they look weak
10
there.
foot isn't that big.
But they're like embedded in the dirt under your feet where you're standing. You don't
Ah,
actually know
well,
how
we'll
long.
just break them in the middle.
So
Fine.
when you say break them in the middle, everyone's like break.
Oh fuck.
So we'll do a wisdom save just to.
Stand back a wee bit.
Okay, so Ebon like walks up, maul in hand. What am I breaking? I want to smash.
You know
Hulk
what?
smash here.
Airborne. Smack both sides of this.
He just runs up and just swings his maul down into the planks as hard as he can. And
rolled a 20 in wisdom.
yes, he did. That was to not jump onto the planks and break them with his weight.
Oh, what a retard.
So
Oh,
he
God.
swings
you're
on
right.
the maul and just smacking it into the wood, splintering it and knocking all the charred and blackened wood down into the tunnel beneath.
After you, big man.
You want me to jump down there?
Think you can do it?
He just pushes you
How much of a
aside.
drop? How much of a drop is it?
It's about 8 foot
Okay.
to the ground.
grapple
He's
and push him out.
like pushed you to the side
Whoa,
against
whoa,
the wall,
whoa.
like.
Hey Bob. Hey Bob.
No, he ain't taking shit for an answer.
But you dared me to jump.
But you could slide down the rope. That would be funner.
Rope doesn't sound very fun to me.
But this is fancy rope.
Rope persuasion to see if
Please,
you're
please
convincing
roll
enough.
one. Because I will. Yes! Yes!
Oh, fuck. Against his wisdom, you're beat by. You're beat.
Like 2 points.
He just
Well, actually,
No, one's always
he
a fail.
just pushes you back. I don't need no fancy rope, and you see him just drop down into the pit.
Jacob, just think about it. Okay, if he dies, there's a lot of situations we could approach a lot stealthier if we weren't carrying a 300-pound fat Egypt around.
So as he drops down in, you hear
Saying.
a squeak coming out from the tunnel as he drops down.
Oh, he landed on one.
No, he didn't land on one. Like as he's dropping down, you just hear this high pitched as some scuttling rounds off, and then a huge crash as A-bomb hits the ground, makes an acrobatics save as he hits the ground.
Oh, damn! He landed on
And-
his feet, bruh.
And do you see, like, as you look down after him as he drops, his feet will land and he stands back up, going, "Yeah, that's right. Run, you skelly." As the ground under his feet, similar to the trap that had been triggered on you previously,
Fucking yeah.
drops for a spike pit, and he just drops down backwards towards it, barely catching his hand onto the edge, but falling, like, skewering through one of his calves with a spike. Like, straight through the muscle of his legs. Doesn't seem to really affect him that much since he's such a big idiot, really. But
So rude.
he does take a bit of damage and then start trying to hoist himself up out of the pit. Though his leg does seem to be nicely stuck on this spike and he cannot get it free.
I'm gonna quickly attach the hook on to the side of the log or whatever or something.
Just gonna
Uh,
tie
put
it
it-
somewhere.
Yep. Throw the rope in and try to get down to help him out.
Which part of like the path are you gonna try and get down to?
Can you show? You... Assuming he's here,
Trying to
I
select
can either go to this side or this side.
pretty much. Okay, so there's like the tunnel underneath. The red dots are the spikes, and Airbomb is about here, holding one hand onto the ledge, the other hand down at his leg, trying to pull his own leg off one of the spikes that he's landed on.
Damn. Looks like the only way we can drop down is into that fucking arrow trap. Umar, feeling confident with that shield?
He looks at his shield, looks up. I was born ready. What do you need?
As you get down and try to protect us from arrow fire, they start opening up on us. And I'll come down after you, help A-bomb up, and we'll push through as quickly as we can.
See him nodding to himself. I can do this. I got this. And he gets ready. So you're gonna
Okay.
try and like each lower down the rope and then get over to
Yeah.
this side?
Yeah.
Okay. So Umar takes the rope, slings his shield onto his back, sheathes his blade, takes it in his hands and starts trying to abseil down a couple feet. And then push his feet along to what game would it be? Like I'm assuming it's in Uncharted, since I'm pretty sure it was in Tomb Raider where you like hold the rope and you run back and forth on a wall to try and get yourself momentum.
Yeah.
So he-
That is in Uncharted, definitely.
I
Yep,
thought
I
so.
can
So he
confirm.
pretty much does that a bit, where you're closer to the other side, so he
Isn't the
takes a
very
couple
first game.
steps that way, and then tries to push himself off and get to the other side, and then jump off and get to the ledge. And he manages to land. One of his feet hit the edge and slide down, but he catches his balance, landing safe and secure. Get the fuck there. There we go. So as he lands, he gets a better look further down the tunnel, which is where he spots this like little archer, this like little kobold banging on a door, trying to get to the other side.
So you have chosen death.
It's kind of scrabbling, scratching. It's like, there's one down here.
Wait, I can do it better.
Plants his shield on the
Better.
ground, getting ready to block any incoming fire.
Right. You and me, Kark.
I guess so.
Who's gonna go next?
Kark can go next.
Fuck it. Yeah, I was gonna go anyway.
Oh yeah, try and get to the same side as Umar.
Yes, because he had an easier descent.
Okay, you'll need to roll some acrobatics to get down and then swing across. And
Oh,
okay, you
God.
landed in safely. Like, I'll move him over here.
Whoop.
In
Wait, where?
beside him. There.
Oh, you okay? You move me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Landed nicely next to him. Safe as well. And then is Barrack going to jump in as well?
Yep.
Jump in. Hmm.
Oh,
So-
that's nice.
You're
Jeez, you have 7 acrobatics. You are
You're swinging on the rope
Sexy boy.
to get in, and you feel it loosen as whatever you've tied it to, like, almost gives. You swing a bit low, but manage to plant your foot on Airbomb's shoulder and get yourself up barely onto the ledge.
Does the rope then fall down?
It feels like it loosened, but it's still secured. You could give it a good tug. And
I'll give it a
possibly,
good tug.
that would be a strength roll. Give it a good tug down. No. it still seems to be. It's not in the same spot where you tied it. It must have like come off and got caught somewhere else, but
Right.
don't get it down.
Can I help Bomb up, or will
You
he be able
can.
to get up himself?
That would give him an advantage on his strength roll to get up, and he does get up.
Yay.
So
Fine.
everybody's like precariously on this. Fuck, all these people, it's hard to
Push
select.
forward and knock that fucking door down.
So as everyone's been landing down, this kobold, realizing he's not getting through the door, has turned and shot an arrow in Imar's direction. Who, like, well, he shoots the arrow and just aims for the group. It seems as though it's flying towards Carrick, bow at the ready. And
Wait.
Imar
Wait,
Just listen.
dives in the way, blocking it with his shield, but part of the splintered arrow ricochets off and catches him in the corner, in the shoulder. He's shooting at the group. Do you want me to turn him around? There.
no, it's just the wall that's.
He's now shooting
Confusing.
around the wall. And you're in the
He's
way.
curving an arrow.
He's shooting at the
His
group.
arrows are
You're
shooting.
part of the
Okay.
and if you want to be nitpicky
Okay.
about it, you're technically through the wall because the passage is that narrow.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
okay.
fucking wanker.
So you would be more there, and clearly puts you in his line of sight with your
Alright,
shoulder.
okay.
So yeah, like
You
we don't
could
have to
hit
be
me, I'll
super
give you that.
accurate about everything.
Okay.
If Andre
okay.
was, you'd be dead by now.
Probably.
Except me, I always live. Because
But,
Alex never let me down.
Are we still in the same initiative order?
We're actually
Andrew, or
going to
would you
start
like us
using
to
the initiative order now, which means Carrick is first
Re-roll
here.
it.
Rush that
I'm not gonna
bitch!
So what are you
Oh,
going to do?
Shoot him. Shoot him.
Imar just deflected an arrow that almost got you. So you're going to shoot him?
Oh, that's. I don't know
So-
if that's enough.
I think it is.
As you shoot your arrow at the kobold, you're trying to get a good hit on him. It
Oh,
seems like
God.
it's gonna miss, but collides against the wall, and
Okay, it's a ricochet.
splinters ricocheting off, and you see the arrowhead just fly straight for the kobold.
And now I roll
Oh,
9
I
damage.
literally
Now roll your damage.
another 5.
Oh, fuck,
so that's
well,
another
that's-
2.
So,
See
as
what
it-
I
as
mean?
it
See what I mean
splinters
about
off, and you
the
see the
statistics of
arrowhead.
damage rolls? It's just not consistent.
Stop,
It's
got the
5,
land.
5, 5, 5, 5.
That's the point. It's not meant to be consistent. It's a random dice roll. Nothing
So it
here is going to be
consistent. That
Yeah, but it's
like,
all
why?
random.
It's always somewhat average.
why is it always a 2
It's not
No.
always a 2.
from a D8? Nonetheless.
Stop complaining, okay?
But you
fact that
see-
the fact that you got a hit is good enough.
You see the
Right.
arrowhead flashing off the light of the lantern as it spirals towards the kobold and just embeds itself straight into where the kobold's eye would have been, knocking it onto the ground next to the door.
That was one of the most unlucky kobolds ever.
Very. Any lower and you would have missed, pretty much. So it made it a bit more interesting. Where you did miss, but you hit at the same time.
Rage.
So, now that the hostile threat has been eliminated, how are you going to proceed?
Very carefully.
So there's holes on each side.
Yes, with Ablom having pointed it out earlier, you see seemingly placed at random holes that maybe are about an inch wide, maybe 2 inches wide for some of them, just randomly all over the walls on either side. The terrain is full of large rocks, boulders, that would make your movement a lot slower than normal.
Is there? Oh yeah, Andrew. By the way, did I get rid of my death saving things now, or do I have to keep
Oh,
them until I fully
yes.
rest?
I will remove.
No, it's okay. I got it. And they're on both sides.
On both sides, seemingly just all placed at random.
Do we just like just try to bash the door down? I mean,
Yeah, why not?
Umar, you can try to protect us with your shield as best you can, but realistically, I don't see any other smart ideas how to do this.
So is it just gonna try and get through as fast as you can?
Yeah. I do want to give one more attempt to try to get my grappling hook and rope back.
Do you want air bomb to yank it?
Yeah.
So he sees you're struggling, so he just grabs it, and you hear a splintering, breaky noise as you see the grappling hook fly down the hole and bounce down.
Thanks.
So you have recovered it. You see him kind of, it's like shaking his head, skull face weak. As he grips onto his maul, getting ready to smash some kobolds.
That's the last time I compliment you.
What's a compliment?
Never mind. Not the time.
So, since you're all in this little tunnel and getting ready, roll some perceptions just to see if there's any other details that Ebon did not notice. Maybe Ebon will notice something else this time. Nope. He's still thinking about what a compliment is. Umar
What's a compliment?
Umar is just
Yeah.
face palming.
Compliment?
So
Compliment?
everyone has done bad here. It is up to Carrick.
Perception. See, I normally roll well. Oh, I have rolled well in perception.
Okay, so as you're getting ready to
Why?
start
Why
stepping
perception?
through, you look over at the door and you see a similar slit
Hole.
in the door, and it slide open a crack, and an eye just start peering through the slit, and when it sees you looking,
Shoot that motherfucker!
it slams shut again.
Shoot that mofo dead!
So you're being
Do I get to
watched.
shoot?
This is like,
Hey,
you
bomb.
could try and shoot. It's like a 1-inch gap. So
Diamonds were made under pressure.
so
Oh, get fucked.
you try and shoot for the gap, but it's a 1-inch gap.
Yeah.
Damn you,
And
Andrew, them so precise.
You would have hit, but the kobold slams it shut, and then you hear a yelp from the other side as your arrow pierced straight into where the gap was
my
open
God.
and must have struck its hand on the other side. Would have probably done a
I'm
point or two
assuming-
of damage.
Do we have to stay in the where we are?
You
I'm assuming
can
we
get
can't-
past each other.
Bomb. Smash that door.
Oh, smash.
Ebom gets his does a stretch with his shoulders.
Baileys.
I
Kill
need
'em
to
all!
push. Give me 2 minutes.
Leave
Walks-
none! Allah!
He just walks forward, shoving Kark and Umar to the side as he starts stepping over these rocks, almost tripping as he walks since they're quite large and getting in his way. He would really only be able to get like half the way down the tunnel as he's walking through, wading over the rocks, trying to get there. And we shall wait for Macaulay to return. wherever he may have gone.
Do you like the way you're measuring things on?
I was trying to move things, but I had the measuring one selected. So you're back?
Yes, I'm back. Yes, my turn.
Okay, so A-Bomb cracked his knuckles, did a bit of a stretch with his shoulders, and then just shoves you and Umar out of the way as he starts wading over the rocks, trying to get to the door to smash it down. He doesn't get the whole way there. So is there anything everyone wants to do while you're waiting for A-Bomb to reach the door?
Probably just hide behind Umar.
So he's got his shield up, glancing around, kind of drifting it back and forth, different sides, getting ready for some sort of attack from the holes. Looking at them, there's that many holes in all sorts of directions. This whole tunnel from the pit to the door seems as though there are holes facing every direction. There's nowhere to stand that's safe.
God.
But you can't try and hide. Just what everyone want to wait until A-Bomb gets to the door.
Well, I don't know. I'll take the leader role and push up behind him. Basically, just following right behind A-Bomb.
You're like got your hand on his back, using him as a meat shield.
We're just gonna use him as a battering ram.
Pretty much. So, whole group starts getting up closer to the door.
Now we get pelted by arrows.
You see A-Bomb get his maul ready. He's still kind of crouched to fit into this tunnel. And he gets his maul, grabs like at the base of where the actual hammer part is with one hand, and then grabs the other end where you'd normally hold it with his other hand and starts using it like a ram to breach a door like the police would use. And just starts swinging it in to try and reach through the door as hard as he can.
Come on.
So
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
he
a solid
smacks the
hit.
door. He smacks the door hard, and you can see some of the wood splinter near the bottom where he slammed it and cave in. And the slit opens again, screeches out
Down.
as it
Get it
falls back
down.
onto the ground. And John A-Bomb just keeps swinging.
Oh, got dead ass. Go for it.
Yeah.
He swings for the door again.
Oh my dang.
Slamming into it.
Even better.
And as he hits into it, you hear
That's a lot of damage.
one of the hinges that's holding the door on break and shatter, and the bottom of the door is kind of like the bottom is being pushed into the room, like maybe a foot or so, and the top is kind of bending down in your direction, but still attached. And he's swinging back for another ram, but then you hear some sort of mechanism starting to click and turn.
This is what it will be. It's fucking like automated
Respect.
blow dart guns, and they're all just gonna pelt out every fucking hole.
Pretty much.
Ah,
You need to roll your dexterity saves to try and find a spot to not get hit as this rain of darts just start to pour through the holes in the
Dexterity
wall.
saving throw. Yo.
And A-Bomb. Dexterity. Oh, A-Bomb actually does pretty good.
Oh, people.
And Umar. So, as these darts, like with puffs of air, fly out each of the holes, A-Bomb swings, hitting the door again, and I will assume he probably... Yeah. So, he hits the door a third time, and the top hinge blows off as he gets a step into the room, out of the range of the darts, being the only one to actually pass a save. As the rain of darts fly out through the holes towards the group, and everyone else takes 4 points piercing damage
And then poison damage.
and make a constitution save.
Oh, great.
That's one. Call it.
Constitution save. Yep, terrible. Yep,
So-
it'll be that way.
Each of you then take 1 point of poison damage. But you start to feel it, like where these blue darts hit you. You start to feel it burning its way through your veins and blood as it starts to
Hello?
bleed into your bloodstream. Got a feeling that you'll have to roll every turn to resist it or take 1 more point of damage.
God fucking damned.
As Ebon has busted through the door. And you then get to see the other side.
Show me the boss room!
Yes, the boss room is here. So, as everyone's rushing through the door gets kicked in, and Ebom
FBI!
is pushing through. You see the bright,
Oh,
silvery
Jesus.
head and toothy maw look up in your direction and snarl. Ah, finally our guests have arrived. Took you long enough. As everyone's stumbling in to the room, just hold on,
Hang on a minute.
just hold on,
How
just
does this
wait.
dragon get in here?
Just wait. So looking around the room, you see boxes and open chests that have been upturned and emptied on the ground, small piles of coins. At the far side of the room, you see some sort of stone, like
Altar?
altar or offering,
Yeah,
with
I know.
a carving. Well, there's a carving on it that has since been crossed out, and another carving of a kind of similar resemblance to this dragon carved in above it. Looking up, you do see a roughly 10-foot by 10-foot hole burrowed in through the roof with rubble scattered across the ground. The ceiling maybe 15 to 20 feet up in this room, and this hole like burrowed down through. And looking closer at the white dragon, you see in its claws, it has like 2 giant handfuls of coins of different colors, gems and jewels as well. As there's a small couple dropping from its claws onto the ground.
We don't have
There-
enough money to pay this Egypt, do we?
There are other coins and piles of
They have-
money scattered across the ground
There
as
is
well.
there's only one
Never
option
paying
here.
us.
So, now when you're still, like, who's actually going to step into the room other than Ebom, who's already barged in?
I'll
Me
say we just go in the
again.
order we're in.
So you try and get in with the kobolds standing looking at you, getting ready for a fight.
Well, I'm assuming they're not attacking us.
Not
Yeah.
yet, because there's more dialogue to happen. It's just who wants to step in while it's going to be going on.
I suppose everyone, I guess. Or maybe
Okay.
Car could stay by the door or something.
So as everyone starts stepping in, the dragon just like raises up its neck. I assume you have come and found me to pay the tribute for the measly lives of those who live in your town.
Shit. I'm not in the room. I'm
You
I'm not
can
gonna break the bad
feel
news.
the cold starting to emanate off it in your direction and fill up the
I
room
didn't
itself.
want to become a popsicle tonight. Me.
Is anyone gonna reply?
Deadass, not me. Fuck.
Kind of just here. We have come to give tribute to you, mighty Dragon Lord, King of all the skies.
You see one of its claws filled with coins kind of scratch along its neck. You can hear the scraping of its claws along the almost steel-like scales as it just looks down its nose at your group. Then why come here and not my lair? This is just the living space of my minions who worship me. Nonetheless, bring me your tribute.
Yeah.
Tribute's
Yeah.
gonna be an hour right through the ice hockey to the street. It's a good turtle.
If you want to shoot at any point, just let me know.
Well,
Can I
I'll ha-
whisper to Ebon without it hearing me?
You can try to.
Shit.
this isn't going to end well, is it?
You would just need to make like a straight up charisma roll.
Ebon.
It's like, huh?
As we're walking forward.
Kind
I
of
guess.
leans down to you to hear what you're saying.
Space back. I'm sorry, I'm getting flashbacks to Hishy.
Pretend that we gotta do this very carefully, okay? Now, I'm gonna give you this bag of money to make it think that we're gonna go give a tribute. You're gonna carry it up to it, okay? And place it at its
Hit
feet,
on the deck.
and then you're gonna grab its fucking head and open its mouth. And I'm
Get
gonna
it.
throw a spark bomb down its throat.
Are you gonna try and roll to see how quiet you actually were?
Do I have to?
You do, because the dragon is
Duh.
watching you intently.
Lad, do you not remember Smaug? I hear you.
What I have to roll?
You would need to roll a charisma save,
I feel your
shit.
air.
since charisma is your speaking.
Well, I mean, I've got a bonus in it, I suppose.
How big's the bonus? Oh yeah, it's gonna make a mass difference.
Hiya!
Oh my god.
I'm as silent as a ninja.
I rolled a 19 plus 6, but a natural 20 does overcome that. So as you
well,
are
at least-
Lucky mother.
as you are whispering, you hear the
Where's my
clattering
20?
of some coins that does cover the sound of your voice.
Right.
As you see the dragon take a step forward, dropping its coins onto the ground as its long serpentine neck and head slides up. Like you've been talking, it's moved up pretty much, and you
How
it-
big is this dragon, by the way? You know,
a lot
you know
bigger
what
than you.
but what I took, like, you know what I told Bomb? Is that even possible for him to do?
If it has its head up in the air, probably not. He'd need to jump up to try and grab it.
But if it lowers its head, like, down beside him or
Yeah, like
something.
at the minute, its head is like come down to your eye level as you're whispering. Just as you stop, the head like comes along and you see its one eyes blink and almost stare into your soul. It's like, where is the tribute?
See these spark bombs, right?
Yeah,
Could I throw multiple of them at the same time?
you could only throw one and activate it at a time.
Fuck.
It's your action.
The-
Well, you
the
could action
activate
search
word-
and then throw two.
The activate word is Kobe.
Mm,
Kobe.
that's true. It's not Kobe, it's Garnata.
Oh, it's gotta be Kobe.
So, as you've like stepped in and took a couple steps toward it, whispering to Ebom, the clattering of coins masking the sound of your voice as its head just kind of slides, like stealthily and almost silently, other than the coins, up beside you, as like it sees you're talking but doesn't actually hear what you said, and just slithers its head up almost like a couple feet from you, and its eye just blinks and looks to you. So, human, where is the tribute that you bring for the lives of your people? And you can feel the cold, see like some licks of bluish white, almost like flame kind of snort out through its nose. As it then rears back its head and starts almost pacing around the room, waiting impatiently. What are you going to do next?
I don't know. Witness.
The
is it gonna-
tribute is on its way. We are just the envoy. We did not know where your lair was. So the tribute is 2 days behind.
You see a flare of the bluish flames kind of snort out from its nose as its eyes just come round to meet you.
You have
You
not
need to
sadness for
roll your deception.
and a liar.
I can smell the doors.
Don't bother denying it.
Deception. What the fuck is it? There it is.
Oh.
It's not terrible, but it's not good.
So it takes another step your direction. Claws, you can see the claws actually just scrape along the ground and then sink into the stone, cracking the stone floor itself.
You are?
It sinks its claws into the stone, cracking it underfoot
Okay.
as it takes a step towards Beric. I'm assuming the rest of you are in the door at this point.
Probably.
So it takes a step forward and leans in, maybe about 6 foot away. Another flare of flame comes out its nose. And you do not know the location of the lair of such a legendary beast such as myself. Your people are more primitive than I thought. I
We are
know
not
there is
worthy
no
to
party.
stand in your presence.
Your people seek to kill me. You think your vile trickery will fool me? It sweeps its tail like your direction, almost taking your feet out from under you as it spins around.
We have come directly.
And then it just raises its head up, looks like over its wings, your direction, kind of stretches its wings out. I have no time for your petty squabbles and lies. Deal with them. Flaps its wings. You see its claws stretch up as it grabs onto the 10-foot hole in the ceiling and start clawing its way in to the hole, and its head just pokes out. Leave none of them alive. I expect the bones delivered to my lair by morning, or you will all suffer my wrath. If you do survive, see that the tribute is brought in full, or your people will all die. And then you hear, as it starts climbing up, a crack in the stone, and cracks start to spread out and splinter across the ceiling as it starts to lash and thrash its way up through the tunnel. Roll some perception checks. See what Ebob does. Not the best. Umar, like, as you see it go up, Umar looks at the cracks. You see him glancing around the room. He's like, "Dear God, the ceiling! It looks like it's gonna fall." And then behind you, you start to see the cracks run over your head, and the stones and dust start to fall in the ceiling in the room. They start to fall in the tunnel behind you, and one of the kobolds, the one between you and Carrick, you see him start trying to dive for a rope. What do you want to do?
Shoot him.
Make your attempt to shoot the kobold, as he's diving for this rope.
My turn? Or
Well, we'll just do this before
You
the
get
fight
like,
breaks
it's
out.
kind of like a
Like you've got a reaction, both of you. What you want to do is you see this kobold dive for a rope.
I'm gonna charge this guy.
So you're not going to do anything to the kobold diving for the rope.
No.
Okay.
Which one is it under that's diving for the rope?
The one like right beside you.
Oh,
That
I'll
one.
shoot him.
So you pull out your bow, but he's very close to you. So you have disadvantage on your ranged attack. So roll a
Didn't know
second time.
that.
Well, he's close. It's very hard to hit him moving close to
I
him.
would just hit him with a sword, but
So
fuck's sake.
you hit him, but as you hit him, I'd see him stagger. He reaches up, grabs the rope, and the life leaves his eyes as he falls back, pulling the rope with him. And you hear another loud crack from the tunnel you came from, as first small rocks start to fall, and then larger rocks start to fall as that tunnel is now beginning to collapse. And
Oh, we're not going back that way.
I'll give you a let's do a wee rough. How many turns this will take to collapse? Oh. I was going to do d6 turns, so you've one turn and that tunnel will collapse.
Fuck. I don't think we'd be able to get out of that tunnel. One.
Jump the pit, then jump the acid, or climb up the top. But
No, it's not happening. We're gonna be
Fuck that
buried
shit.
alive in
With-
here.
Just kill everything.
But with Umar's observation, you do see that these deep running cracks in the ceiling have spread almost the entire room. Dust and small bits of dirt are starting to fall. As in the dragon's wrath, it has shook the ceiling possibly to the point of collapse.
So be it.
So now we will enter the turn order.
Fuck, I don't
Initiative
actually know what to do.
again, or
With
it
Eric
just-
going first, you do see quite a lot of golden treasure. Chests, piles of gold that the dragon hasn't collected already. The altar. I actually need to move him out of the way. Get the
damn
fuck
it, we
outta here.
really could use this money, and we're
then-
not gonna get any of it.
And then you see the kobold at the
Oh.
altar. He's wearing furs and stuff like the one you'd saw at the mine. Looks very similar, though not as large. As he raises up his staff. For our lord, kill these pathetic humans. We will gain his blessing. And the kobolds get ready to surge in. But characters get to go first here. So what are you going to do?
I don't actually know what the fuck to do here, because I'm pretty sure that... Is the exit blocked?
You've got a feeling
Yeah.
it probably is.
Fuck! Uh,
Well, we're not getting through here in one turn. No way.
no. Well, I might as well just... Kill them all! For a glorious death!
Ooh.
I'll give you one thing that you can do. You could either spend your turn attacking, like fighting, trying to assess and find a way out, or collecting the golden treasure. The more turns you spend collecting the treasure, the more of the hoard you will get when you escape. If you
I mean,
escape.
the more of the horde.
So I've already
Basically-
worked out how much is
basically-
in this room. So if you spend like a load of turns, you're gonna have to roll for how much you can gather. So like if you go, I want to spend my turn looting. You'll roll your dice, and then I'll mark that down. And at the end, depending on the total amount of turns and rolls you got, that's how much of the stuff you're getting from the room. So if you don't spend any turns picking up loot, then you won't
By the
have
time combat's
anything.
finished.
By the time you get out, you won't have anything.
Yeah. Get you.
So you have to split it up between fighting, trying to find a way out, or taking the treasure.
Alright.
This is gonna be a question of morals right here.
Exactly.
Can I shoot this guy first?
Yes,
Is
you
that my
can. He
segment?
will get some cover since there is a chest in the way.
Oh, interesting.
Fucking-
You're actually gonna shoot people.
Oh no. Miss. It's the first
That is
miss in
indeed a
while.
miss. You see the arrow slam into the chest as the kobold ducks behind it.
I wanted to kill him and then
You still
leave.
have your movement.
Hmm.
But remember, you still have to find a way out. That's the tunnel behind you at the end of this turn. When it gets back to you, will have fully collapsed.
We're really to move to.
So you'll have to find a way out.
That's all I can move, really. Blocked. That is my turn.
Okay. Next is A-Bomb. Who you see just going... take a small rush to the side and swing for the nearest kobold.
Oh god, he goes for that one. Interesting.
He's in a rage. He's just going for the first thing he can get to. And you just see him slam the wall into its face, splattering blood and bone across the wall as it's just smattered into like a heap of jelly on the floor.
Oh, I forgot about Hunter's Mark.
Fuck. I put A-Bomb onto the wrong layer. I put him into the map instead of the kobold.
What?
I made A-Bomb part of the map. I need to undo that.
How did you do that?
It's just a thing I can do for like...
Yeah.
So I don't start dragging the map around.
It makes them like
Oh.
fade.
So next we would have the kobolds. And you see the one at the altar? Turn round to the altar and lift up its hands, breaking something between its fingers and scattering it onto the ground. And green energy starts to swirl around him and then plant on either side as you see these small swarms
for
of
the love of-
lizards start to crawl up out of the stone itself and get ready for an
Oh my
assault. He is indeed. The two archers then take shots at one at A-Bomb, one at Beric, but they both miss. The larger kobold near you decides, fuck this, I don't want to be here on my own, and decides to run back, holding his shield up near that one back there. It is now Beric's turn.
Charge the shaman.
So you're gonna rush up to him and make your attacks.
Uh, damn it.
So you swing out for him and he lifts up his staff, catching your sword and powering it over to the side.
Using action surge.
Okay. So it'll give you another main hand and then an offhand attack. So you, as he's already blocked one and got it to the side, you swing in, slicing across his chest through the furs with the first strike, leaving an open red wound across his chest. But as you try to bring back your other blade again, he just catches it on the staff and knocks it off to the side again,
I want to stab.
getting ready. There's just some unlucky rolls there.
Yep.
Next
Unfortunately.
would be Umar, who takes the chance to charge one of the archers and run up, swinging with his scimitar, digging deep into the leg of the kobold, and then swinging across its chest, dropping it to the ground, dead. Kobolds are like a one hit. So funny.
This is going very well.
But it is now back to Carrick, and the remainder of the tunnel that you came through, you just look over your shoulder, and you see the rocks in the roof just collapse down in on top of the room, blocking it off. There is a small gap at the top.
Oh god, the whole map just went black.
Yep, you can't see it anymore. But you do see that there is a small little gap at the top that you might be able to try and clear out, but
It's our only option.
it's unclear how much of the rubble is blocking it or could continue falling down in on top. And you all need to make dexterity save as rubble and chunks of rock start to drop from the ceiling. Okay, and golly, you got an 11.
I've done
So,
that.
as the rubble starts to fall, you both narrowly manage to get out of the way. The rock's only just barely scraping off you. You each take 2 damage. Oh, Ebom takes the full 4, but he's raging, so it's 2. Umar also takes 2. So chunks are dropping down. You're about to get crushed, but you just managed to step out of the way, barely missing getting hit.
Nice.
The kobold archer ducks out of the way and manages to only take the 2 damage. The other more armored kobold also only takes 2. The lizards only take 2. And the shaman only takes 2.
Everyone did very well.
Yes, Ebom was the only one who actually failed. But you got a feeling bigger and harder to dodge rocks are going to start falling each turn. So, getting the loot will be more difficult and more pressing.
My turn.
Okay, yep, it is now Carrick's turn.
Andrew, you already know what I'm gonna do, and I'm not proud of it.
I know what you're gonna do. Gonna try and do the
Looting money.
looting.
Yeah. I'm driven by greed.
Okay, make a sleight of hand roll as you rush to the nearest pile of treasure and
That's another one. That's the third.
start
single
trying
crit.
to gather in as much as you can, pouring it into your backpack and pockets. And you're panicked because rocks are dropping. As you go to grab a big giant handful, a rock just drops in the middle, scattering the coins across the floor. But you do get a couple of coins.
Couple being 2.
It's hard to really tell how much you've shoved into your pockets right now, but we'll have to see later on. So next, we have Ebom in his rage, who, incapable of any other thought, rushes to the nearest thing and starts trying to smash the little swarm of lizards, and barely manages to connect with this little swarming pile, smashing a couple of them onto the ground as they swarm around. It is now the kobolds.
Oh dear.
As the little kobold archer fires out an arrow towards Beric, who's leaning down to pick up the gold.
Garrick, you mean?
Yes, Carrick, who takes 4 damage.
Brilliant.
And you would be like getting your gold in the pile. The first little swarm charges Ebon, the second swarm after Beric, and the larger kobold swings around the back to get in behind both. And the first little tiny swarm starts trying to bite in, crawling over you, Beric, trying to get onto your clothes, get onto your armor, but they can't seem to find an opening just yet, as they're trying to skitter around and bite onto you as they can, but aren't getting through.
Yeah.
The swarm after Ebon, however, do manage to bypass his meager clothing and defenses, biting him furiously all over, and you can see fresh blood start to trickle down his skin. And the larger, more armored kobold swings for Ebom's back, getting a good whack across like the back of his thighs, doing a decent amount of damage, but in his rage, Ebom seems oblivious to the damage. I know you're getting these little lizards off you. You look in front and you see the eyes start to glow of the kobold in front of you with his staff, and then his form shifts and reappears as some sort of serpentine lizard creature. but is unable to do anything this turn.
Of course he does.
And it's now your turn.
Right, well, I'm going to turn around and attack this kobold here that's behind me.
Okay.
And I'm gonna use my longsword,
Ooh.
which he hits from my hand apparently.
So you swing out trying to strike him. He brings up his shield and your sword sticks into the shield. And you'll need to try and wiggle it out. So just make a athletics and get like higher than a 10. And you'll get your sword free. Yeah, so you rip your sword back out of his shitty little wooden shield.
Okay. And then I'm gonna use my second wind.
Yep.
The D10. I
D10
believe.
plus 2.
Ah, whole 4 health. That's
4.
nice.
That's like 1 attack.
Well,
Okay.
so that's my turn.
It is now Umar, who, seeing the mosh pit, rushes and dives in, swinging his scimitar, trying to cut the attention from the two of you onto him. Manages to strike into the kobold's back and just easily bring his scimitar down its back, splitting through its ramshackled armor, dropping it to its knees where it just slumps over, bleeding out onto the floor.
Yes, good. Good.
You can see him panting under his breath. We need to fucking get out of here. As more rocks start to tumble from the ceiling.
I'm a
Alright.
little busy!
And now we need more dexterity saves from everybody.
Oh god.
You can see larger chunks of rock are falling.
10. Shit.
And
Oh,
Umar,
look out!
Okay, so
Jesus, I've lost some amount of health.
as the rocks start to fall and Carrick's down, trying to scoop up as much gold as you can, one of the
Yeah.
larger rocks shatters across your shoulder, almost knocking you to the ground as you take 5 points of damage. Everybody else in the party
Of course I do,
succeeded
yep.
their save
Yep.
and takes 2 points of damage. God, get the fuck out of it. Okay. Now all the little kobolds. Okay, so Kobold Archer. Oh fuck. Kobold Archer. You just see him getting ready to draw an arrow towards Carrick. Look up. As a giant chunk of ceiling just splatters him across the ground. And he is
Bad luck for him.
squished underneath the rock.
I was actually going to shoot that cunt this turn.
Well, he's dead now. The small little lizard piles, the one in front of Ebom, as Ebom ducks out of the way of the rock, it lands on some of the little lizards, squishing a few of them. The other swarm near Beric dodges out of the way with only a couple getting squished, and the larger shape-shifted kobold in the form of a lizard just gets a small couple smaller rocks, bounce off it, leaving a couple scratches and bruises on its pelt. And we're now into round 3. What is Carrick going to do now?
Well, I was going to shoot him, but he's dead.
Yep.
Fill those pockets.
Yeah, he already knows, doesn't he? If I roll less than a natural 5, I will leave this call, because this is
Roll
This is
your
bullshit,
roll your
left.
sleight of hand.
absolute bullshit. What's that? A 7.
There we go.
Brilliant. Fucking brilliant.
Hey, a 10 above 10 is a good roll.
Ah, but that's only because of +5.
That's why you have the +5. So next,
3 ones.
A-Bomb starts swinging his maul around like a madman.
Oh,
Gets
that's
a
what we
critical
need.
hit. And rolls a total of 16. Damn. And you see him start smashing up little lizards all over the place.
Die, tiny lizards! Die! Die! Die!
Pretty much cutting apart the majority of the swarm, leaving not many left alive. And as the kobolds, or as I should now say, lizards, take their turn to attack. The first little swarm swarms up over A-Bomb again, trying to bring him down with many little tiny bites. As he takes another bit of damage. The swarm beside Barracks trying to swarm up over your back, actually connecting with you this time. As a couple of them crawl down in under your chest piece and start biting into you, if I could select you, for 6 points of damage. Then the larger shape-shifted lizard in front of you kinda arches its back, snaps out to try and grab onto one of your arms. But it does not get you. Your like leather gauntlets that you've got on, it bites into your wrist where your bracers would be, and you see its teeth rip out chunks of leather as it snarls at you.
Get fucked, Lizzie.
And it is now your turn.
Right, well, I'm just gonna aim for the big lizard boy here.
Yep.
And just hit him with a long sword.
That is a hit.
Look at that, like.
That is
That's
what I
insane.
need. That is what I need.
So you bring up your blade, slashing across the lower portion of its chicken nest as it pulls back from the bite, and you can see heavy bleeding as blood just starts spurting out of its fresh wound as the lizard's head grows limp to the ground, and you see the form kind of start to shimmer. Still have your bonus action. That is a hit. So you then take your offhand, plunge deep into the wound you already made, and the lizard form poofs, and you see the kobold drop onto the ground, like in a kind of a 3-point landing, as he looks up to you with some fresh scars from your wound penetrating through his form and hitting him himself as he snarls up at you. You'll never take down our master, and we will not fail, as he gets ready for the next turn to attack at you. Umar flanks round the enemy little lizard pile and tries to finish them off. Though he swings out a saber, but there's not enough, and he just strikes at air, completely missing. And now you hear more cracks as larger rocks now start dropping from the ceiling again. And you need to make your dexterity saves, as even more debris is falling from the roof.
I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not great.
Okay, so this is round 3. Okay.
Hopefully it'll miss me and hit some of the lizards.
You can tell these rocks are getting larger, more quantity of rocks is falling, and they're gonna hurt harder. So the thing you need to beat gets higher each turn. So let's see who got hit there. So Umar and Barrack, and then the small lizard pile between A-Bomb and Umar all field. And you take 7 points of damage as a large rock just drops from the roof and just shatters itself across your back, stumbling you forward as you really feel the pain starting to pulse through your body. Your your back, where you fell on it before from the tree, really starting to hurt. That injury starting to feel like it's gonna come into play pretty soon. Everybody else
That
takes
injury will never fully heal.
everyone else takes the 3 points of damage as they barely duck out of the way of the rocks.
Cataract!
You can see
Yes,
some of
yes.
some of the debris that hit you in the back hits the kobold and the small pile of lizards beside you. Carrick barely dodging out of the way of a rock as some of the debris from the ground splatters across your face, leaving some cuts and scars. And it's now Carrick's turn.
Get us away out of here!
Umar is swinging at this little swarm's like, we need to get out. How the fuck are we gonna get out? And Airbomb in a rage just going, die lizards, die, die, die. Froth and foam just flying out of his mouth everywhere, splattering Umar in the face.
Search behind the altar! If there's nothing there, we're dead!
I don't know if we can fit in here. I don't know.
Now, do you want to just search around and see what you can find?
It's gonna be a low roll, but yes.
Do you want to look, or like actually, like go up and start feeling the rocks and maybe trying to slip in behind the altar, or what way are you trying to like look for ways out?
Investigation, I assume.
Well, are you just looking, or are you actively like going around the room trying to find like, is this wall like rough enough for me to climb, or like what way are you doing it?
That way, second one.
Then investigation.
Yep, 8.
So as you
Yep.
as
Yep.
you
Yep.
are walking along, like staggering about,
Am I
looking for
fine?
something that could help you, the first thing that
I'm
comes to
essentially
mind,
useless at this point.
the first thing that comes to mind is the boxes. Maybe we can do something with the boxes. That's the first thought
Right.
goes through Carrick's head. Boxes.
Boxes.
So,
How high do we have to
You
scale?
would have thought you would have learned his lesson.
so the ceiling is about, at a rough guess, about 15 feet high. So like the very middle where the giant hole that the dragon carved is.
Oh fuck, doesn't matter. Right.
Now, these are big chests. They're like maybe 2 foot deep with like the lid is like an extra foot. They're like 3 foot by, like 3 foot tall, 2 foot deep, like 4 foot long.
Jump into one.
They're pretty big.
Right.
Could squeeze into one. It'd be a tight fit for the two of you. The other two probably would not fit in. Since Umar's shorter, but he's a lot more well built than the both of you. Is there anything else you'd like to try and do in your turn?
No.
Throw a dagger at the fucking shaman.
Can I even attack under? Because I've spent all my turn feeling walls.
You've spent like your action going along the room, like investigating the side you're on, and the only thing like you really caught your attention was the boxes. But you
Lovely.
still have your bonus action. You could chuck a knife at somebody. Want to do that? So who are
Alright.
you throwing it at? The lizards or the...
Retard there.
Okay, roll your damage.
1. Brilliant. Absolute. Yep.
So, as
Like
the
what-
kobolds mid-fight
What is this?
with Barrack, you see the dagger just
That's a waste of a dagger.
fly across, catch its like fur hat it's wearing, rip it from its head, and leave us a gash across like the top of where its scaly eyebrows would be. The hat flying off in the other direction, with the dagger still stuck in it.
Oh, this is where I die.
You never know.
I may as well be dead at this point.
So next, Airbomb starts swinging his maul. Though he
Oh, fuck.
is in such a rage that he's
Sit
all
on the ground.
he's almost blinded by fury. Sees one of the little lizards
He's
crawl
just-
up Umar's chest and just swings for it.
Oh, fuck.
Slams
Rude.
Umar in the chest knocking him back like 5 feet from the impact. He's like, oh! So you see some blood actually fly out of his mouth as he almost doubles over, clutching at his stomach. Going, oh! You fucking buffoon! What the hell are you doing? We need to get out of here.
Mars not having a great relationship with
He's
Emma.
not. He's really not. Farts in his fucking face. God. Has to fucking pull him out of acid. Not really liking this big guy. But, it's now the kobolds. It's the little lizard's turn. And turn on the weakened Umar, just diving for him. Trying to jump on him, but he just gets his shield barely in the way, shoving them to the side. The second swarm that are already climbing on top of Barrack, you feel a couple bites and nips into your flesh as you take 3 points of damage from their bite.
Nice.
The kobold in front of you, you see him looking around, panicked as the ceiling starts to collapse.
I was gonna say, I'm waiting for this guy to realize, fuck, maybe I should get out of here.
Yep, you see him take a step back up the altar. You have an opportunity attack if you want to take it.
Yes.
Make your roll. Oh, so
Apparently not.
as you go to swing it from a rock from the ceiling just drops, hitting onto your sword and knocking it to the side, but you manage to keep a grip on it. Luckily, it's the
I don't know.
possibly magical blade, so it doesn't look like it's sustained any damage. But you see his eyes start to glow a almost purplish color and starts to speak some strange tongue, and his hands begin to glow purple as well. And then he just thrusts them out to the side, and you see a small blackish purple shimmering circle behind him, and you see him almost just trust fall back into the circle, and he vanishes as this little portal just swirls around and poofs into the air, and he's gone.
Oh fuck. Did the lizards all die?
The lizards, you see them slowly start to slow down and then begin to crumple back into the dirt and stone that they were formed from.
Oh, thank God. Right. Just gotta, pass the dexterity save and pray I don't die.
Is there anything you'd like to do now that it is your turn, though?
Oh,
Before
is it my
that,
turn?
it is your turn.
I would like to run up and describe this altar to me. Like, describe what it looks
It's
like.
pretty much almost like a giant chair, like with like you've got like here. These are pretty much like two giant arms on a chair. This is the back, and then there's steps going up, but there's no like spot to really sit. It's just a couple steps up, and the steps of different items.
I'm
and
gonna
gold
run
and stuff.
up and then investigate the bit at the top of the steps for any sort of, I don't know, just anything, buttons or something. I
Okay.
don't know.
Roll a investigation. Wow.
Wow.
2 minutes too. So you see a lot of scribblings and like scratch marks onto the altar, but they're really just like scratch marks to you, and you're really just focused on the gold that's sitting here on these steps as an offering to the dragon. I really want to pick it up. This treasure would be really
No.
nice in your pocket.
No,
You see,
gold is useless if we don't get out of here.
you see
But the
Umar
gold.
kind of backing up and falling slightly against the altar as he's clutching his chest, blood still trickling from his mouth, as he just glares at Ebom. Get the fuck away from me. Just get away.
Omar, I need your help.
He limps his way your direction. Where'd that fucker go? I wanna kill something.
He went through a portal or something. I don't know. We need to get the fuck out of here. There's writings here, but I don't
He-
know what any of it means.
He stares at it like, just fucking scratch marks. I don't know what kobolds speak. Could be anything. And he just frantically looking around the room for something that might help. And as he turns around and you're looking at these scratch marks, more rocks start to tumble from the ceiling.
Oh
And
dear.
You can see they're starting to begin to like pile up in some areas where the ceiling is falling more than others. And you'll need to make your dexterity saves.
Well,
Oh,
it's been nice.
Seriously. Right.
so let's see.
Have I rolled only 2 dice since in here that's above 10? 1 dexterity saving throw and 1 arrow. That's it.
So
Oh,
as
and
you're
the dagger that did 1, so 3 above
as
10.
you're looking at the scratch
Wacko.
marks and Carrick
Fucking hell.
looking for a way out, the rocks
this happen
start
so
to
much?
fall. You see, you glance behind you and you see Aebom
I hope I get
just-
knocked out.
lift his hands up as he almost tries to catch one and shug it up to the side, coming out of his rage as you almost see like one of his shoulders on the verge of dislocating from the weight of the rock as he just chucks it into a pile right behind him. And as you look up, Beric glances up and you see a huge rock about to fall right on top of you. And you just hear a "No!" as a shield just rams you in the side, knocking you to the floor, where you'll take 1 damage from the fall. But you just see, like, as you fall over, the last thing you see is just this rock land straight on top of Umar's back on the altar. As he shoves you over the side, and you just hear a cracking sound, but you hear
Omar!
as he falls to the ground. Carrick then takes. You also get the 6 points of
200
damage.
23 points
Nope,
of damage.
just 6.
Oh, might as well be 200.
As Umar used his skill of the shield to save the closest person who was literally about to die. So
Is he completely crushed, like, by the
You'll-
rock? Is it, like,
the rock's
huge?
on him, it's like cracked and part of it's fell down the steps. But you need to do a medicine check to see if he's okay.
Okay. Whose turn is it now, then? Carrick.
Well, there's no real reason for turns, so just both of you say what you want to do on this generalized turn. Or what you want Aebom to do.
Right. Hey, Bob!
Actually, both of you roll perception first.
Oh,
Just to see.
not the time game.
Okay,
Jesus Christ.
as
it has
Carrick-
taken
as Carrick
Taken-
looks around and you
nearly
see
3 hours to get one.
Umar just shove Beric out of the way and get crushed beneath this rock, and Aebom shoulder one and then drop it onto a pile. Thought clicks in your mind. Maybe
Dead.
we could chuck the grappling hook up into the hole, get purchase, and try and climb out. Or use Aebom as a ladder and try and... There's piles of rocks. Like, these rocks are piling up.
What do you mean? Get purchase? I'm on 4 HP.
You chuck the
How would that
grappling
work?
hook up and then try and climb out of the collapsing room. Or possibly there's piles of rock. Like the rocks are piling up on the ground, which means you're closer to the ceiling. Like these are big rocks. There could be like a big 4 foot by 4 foot rock just sitting there, and you could jump on it, and you're 4 foot closer to the ceiling.
Fuck.
So you could
Hey, Bob!
possibly throw the grappling hook up and use the rocks to climb up a bit and then climb the rope out. Maybe.
You know, just a question. Could we
Yes.
not just stand in the fucking hole that like beneath where
The
the dragon
rocks are
climbed out of?
collapsing, like, and tumbling everywhere. Some rocks are falling down the hole, but there's not as many.
Where's the hole? Here.
The hole would be like pretty much the center of the room. I'll just like draw away. I'll just say the hole is like.
Safety circle.
So there's not as many rocks, but there are still rocks tumbling like down. Like you can hear them bouncing down the tunnel and then dropping out. But it's not as bad as the whole ceiling collapsing in. So what do you both want to do on this turn?
I want Hey mom, grab Umar. We gotta find a way out of here.
You see
Can't
Ebon
leave him behind.
making his way over, going, Bronze boy got knocked out. Weak. And try and shove the rock off the top of him.
Derek.
Yeah.
Ebom, you see Ebom's kind of struggling to get this huge rock off of Umar's back as he's lying there. You could always attempt to help him, give him a little bit more.
I'll help him.
Okay.
yeah.
That'll give him advantage. There we go.
Made the difference.
So you try and give him a little help, gets it lifted up a bit, and then he rolls it off. Just scoops Umar up and lifts him up onto his shoulder. It's like, now what, Scarface? I don't want to die in here. I want to see the sea again.
Get to the
I want to
center
kill
of
the
room.
whales.
It's safer there.
So, Ebom staggers his way over to the middle of the room, where less rocks seem to be falling. What is Carrick going to do this turn?
Don't really know.
Anything you can think of. You can do whatever you want.
Why the wisdom check?
I was just doing that for myself.
Okay. So what do you want to do, Mackay?
Oh, that's fun. Let's do that too.
Are you doing it to see if you're resisting taking the gold?
I say I don't know what I set myself there. Like, would I just live, or
It's
would I
up to
just
you
be
to
able to go?
choose what you want to do.
Because my wisdom's higher, so I want to live. See if I was below, like it's been rolling consistently, I would have took the gold. That's what I'll go with.
So
So
you're
I will
gonna
try leave.
try and get the safety.
Sure, why not?
Right. Gonna go for the grappling hook and throw it as far as I can. Up. And hopefully hook into this gap somewhere.
Okay. Make a
There.
just a dexterity roll.
Oh, you
Okay, so you get a good swing on the grappling hook and chuck it up, trying to loose as much of the 100 feet of rope as you can. You hear it clatter about and start to scrape back down the tunnel, but then it catches on a rock somewhere up in the darkness, and it's tight.
We have no choice. Climb. I'll go first.
As you start to climb, the rocks do start tumbling. You will have advantage on your dexterity save, since you're in the safer spot.
Oh yeah, fucking.
It was going to be easier to succeed, but even that is too low.
Oh god.
That's not good.
Well,
How is Carrick going to fare here?
Let's find out. Wow.
So Carrick is
2
seeming
dice
fine.
actually above 10.
Ebom isn't looking so good either. Umar just automatically can't really do anything, so he's going with Ebom on his roll. Umar's can't really tell how he's looking at the minute. But as the rocks start to fall down, what health is everyone on? Oh, so as the rocks start to fall, Ebon takes one straight across the forehead You could see a big gash down from across his brows as he starts bleeding heavily from his face.
He's got brain damage.
Umar seems to get hit by a rock as well. Carrick dodges out of the way, taking 1 damage. And Beric is as you're throwing the grappling hook up and you get purchase, you look at the go to start climbing and then a rock just tumbles out of the tunnel and just catches you straight in the right in the face, like pretty much smashing into your nose.
Why is it always the face?
It's always the face, dealing 3 points of damage, which would knock you out as you fall back onto the ground against Carrick. And you feel the limp body just fall against you as he drops unconscious to the ground next to you. What are you gonna try and do?
Can't dodge him because he's landing on top
Well,
of me, yes.
like he's just slumped against you. It's not like you need to get out of the
Yeah.
way.
Is he unconscious?
Yes.
No.
Barely.
Give me a slap then, I don't know. How do you wake someone up when he's unconscious?
A medicine check. Or you could just hit them hard enough across the face that you wake them up.
Right, medicine check it is. Oh. Yes.
So, You're
He's dead.
trying to
He's dead.
patch up his foot. God,
I
God.
truly believe. No,
So-
no, no, I truly believe he's dead.
Well, like he's breathing. You're trying to patch him up, but you don't really have anything to patch him up with on hand. So you're trying to stop the bleeding, but the blood's pouring through. You see Ebon like look around, unsure of what to do with Umar over one shoulder.
So
Is there anything else?
Let's just sum this up here. 2 people unconscious, 2 people left living, and the other 2 are very low in HP.
Yes.
This was fun.
You can definitely see Umar's not looking so good.
How am I gonna lift?
You can always
Fair-
try.
fair.
That's the thing. You can always try. So you're trying to pick him up.
Yes.
So you get your arm around him, and you like get him lifted up to where like he's like kind of lying across your back, arms over your shoulders, so you can keep him standing. But it is hard for you to carry him since you're not that strong yourself.
Yep.
But what do you want to try and do?
Gonna have to ditch Umar here, like that's a little late. For the sake of continuing on. Kill the AI and save the human. That's what it comes down to.
You're the only one
Who do-
awake other
who-
than Ebon. Who
Do that.
you see Ebon like looking up at the
He's fucked. Let's
at
be
the
honest there.
what do you call it? At the whole tunnel. He's like
Is he?
looks over at you. He's like, point ears. We need to find a way out. These other 2 are fucked. What do we do? What do we do? And he's
doing both.
freaking out.
So where's the grappling hook?
The grappling hook is currently the
Oh,
rope
it's
is
connected on.
the rope
that
is
thing.
dangling down the hole. Like it's up in the tunnel somewhere that you could climb up.
How tall is it? We're talking 15 foot ascent here.
It's 15 foot, but there is some rubble that you're probably standing like maybe an extra 1 or 2 feet or so, maybe more, maybe 3 feet off the ground, so like 12 foot up. Because there's quite a lot of rocks and rubble scattered across the ground.
Yeah, Bum, leave Umar. I'll go up first and see if you can get Barrack up to me and then come up last.
I
And I'll
guess you're
pull it to
climbing the rope.
safety. Yes, but this is going to be terrible. Strength. Here we go. Oh god.
So-
Fuck me.
With the sense of urgency, you climb your way up the rope
Sheer
as
fucking
fast as you can, as best as you can do it. You just Spider-Man crawl your way up that rope. There is a slight ledge at the very top that you can kind of stand in. It's a bit dubious as the rocks are tumbling down. As you climb up, Beric would need to make a death saving
is only
throw
half.
as well as Umar,
This
as you haven't had medical attention yet.
Umar's dead, let's be honest here. It's only half the work done I've made it, but Fat Coon has to roll.
Yep.
Another one probably.
But how's Beric's death saving throw gonna go? Above 10 or below?
Beric, roll your d20. Oh, what is it?
Yeah, D20. Just a straight up D20.
Jacob.
He has died.
He's literally dead. Well, we're all dead in this situation.
The shock of unconsciousness has ricocheted through the screen and has knocked him out.
I kinda wanna go to bed soon, just saying.
What's happening?
You need to make your death saving throw
Oh.
as you're currently on the ground. Okay,
Nope.
so
There's one.
that's one. So as Carrick is up on the top, Airbomb sets Umar to the ground, looks up to you. You sure about this pointy ears?
We have no choice.
As he scoops up Beric and starts trying to hoist you into the air. Like, he's tall enough that he can lift Beric to the roof as long as he doesn't roll shit. But Carrick and Airbomb need to do combined strength checks. So you roll, he rolls, and if the combined roll is good enough, so he gets Beric up to you, and with him pushing and you pulling, you manage to just get Beric pulled up and pushed off to the side where he's lying up against the rocks with no threat of falling down. Evan then looking down at Umar, you now have another dexterity save to make as more rocks come tumbling down. Yours still with advantage with a lower mark to pass, since you're mostly covered. And Evan needs to make his as well.
What am I rolling?
Your dexterity save to dodge the rocks. So, in the tunnel, you look up and you see some rocks starting to tumble down, fall from the tunnel ceiling and cascade down the path towards you, and manage to back up out of the way as they roll through the deepest part of the tunnel in between you and Beric. Drop down. Airbomb just looks up, goes, "Oh shit!" Tries to duck out of the way as the rock drops for him, doing 2 points of damage. And you see Airbomb just take it across the shoulder, his arm go kind of limp, and he just smacks it, putting his joint back into place. And looking down at him, you see the heavy breathing as he looks down at Umar, grabs him, and then starts trying to climb up. He just like throws him onto his shoulder and starts trying to make his way up behind you. Do you want to try and help him on his way up? Or just let him power on his own?
Oh, fucking help him.
Make your...
Yep, there we go. That's good help.
So, Airbomb's getting up, but as he gets to the top, his weight pulls the grappling hook from where it's held on. As it shoots down and he loses his grasp of one hand, his other hand grasped to the ledge, dangling on, as he starts trying to pull himself up from falling back into the cave. You can help him if you want, or let him fall. It's up to you.
Sorry, what's my decision?
You can either continue trying to help Ebom climb up as he's dangling from one hand on the ledge, or let him drop.
Literally beyond the point of fucking caring, but it will help. Oh, 1 above 10.
Combined just enough. So with a little bit, you like get your hand down, so he can reach up with his other hand to grab you. And as you pull him up, it seems as though it's only Ebon. As the grappling hook broke free of the
Yeah.
hold, Umar, who was on his shoulder as he was climbing up, dropped back down to the ground, and is now lying on his back, sprawled out, a small pool of blood trickling out across the stone floor.
Did Barrick make it, yes or no?
Barrick's up there, but now needs to make another death saving
Then,
throw.
what the fuck? We were still playing. Let's just get out of here. Man's dead.
Are you gonna
No.
try and stabilize Barrick?
Yes.
Okay.
Fuck Umar.
So we need the saving throw against the death saving throw and then the medicine check.
Right, lad, go on. Where's my medicine? There's mine.
Okay, so you would stabilize him at this point. So you like go into Ebom's bag and start pulling things out. Manage to find some rags and cloth and wrap it around his bloodied wounds. Slap him across the face a couple times, and Barrick's eyes start to open as he comes back to consciousness, barely on the edge, vision blurred, head pulsing with pain from impact, possibly with a broken nose. As he looks up, seeing a mangled form of Ebom and Carrick in this dark tunnel. Rocks still slowly tumbling down past. So what are you going to do next as you've climbed up into the tunnel?
What else do we say up here? Can we get out of this cave, or?
It's a decently steep looking climb, but you should be able to climb up the tunnel to the light that you can see at the other end and get out.
So I'm up and going now.
You're on 1 health. As you've woke up, you see Carrick, who has like slapped you across the face after bandaging you
Oh,
up to
that's
wake
nice.
you. You see Ebom kind of glance at you, then you see him look down into the cave, and you do not notice Umar
Where's-
amongst those up on top.
Where's Umar?
Ebom just glances over at you. I tried, but the rope came free and he fell. He's down at the bottom.
You have no choice. You push on. Sleep when you're dead.
Do you want to
Can
glance
I
over?
look over the edge?
You can indeed.
And what do I see?
It's hit by a
As
rock and
you-
it falls back in.
Look over the edge, you see that Umar lying arms out to the side, a small pool of blood slowly soaking into the rocks and stone beneath him, as
he died
more and
in
more
dramatic
rocks
death.
start to collapse and tumble into the room, one of them rolling off a pile and falling onto his arm, catching it between the rocks. His shield and sword just scattered to the side as he's just lying there. If you want to make a perception check as you're looking down.
No, I don't think I need to.
What's the point? You've no way of getting them.
Okay, stop being so unheartless, Macaulay, okay?
So what is your next move?
Slowly. the tough
So we've
decisions
lost the
have to be made.
grappling hook.
Yes.
The grappling hook came loose but hasn't fell the whole way down in. Though the rope would be caught underneath Umar and some of the rocks. Since he fell down in on top of like the rest of the rope.
Well, guess we're just gonna. Do you have any rope left?
Yeah.
Kark?
Yeah.
Give me your rope. Give me your rope.
Give rope.
Right, I'm gonna start to free climb up the rest of the rock face And as I do, I'm gonna have the rope tied sort of to my side or whatever, and as I climb up, I'm gonna hammer
The pittons in.
the pins into the rock, and then obviously connect the rope to it.
You see
I'll take
Airbomb reach into his bag as he pulls out more rope and ties it on to the end of the rope you already have, making it 100 feet of rope.
Okay, that's good.
He's like, here. Ties it up in a thick knot. Let's get the fuck out of here. As he glances
Go.
back down to the seemingly lost golden treasure in the bottom of the cave and starts following you on your way up. To make it all the way out safely, as some rocks are still falling down, you'll need to do an athletics check to climb your way out with a very, very low probability of getting squished by a rock.
Oh god.
God,
Why does it have to be athletics?
because you're not climbing. It's very hard to dodge. You're climbing the steep pathway up. So Airbomb starts. Airbomb is fine. He's muscling, powering his way through as he starts
Doesn't even need the
climbing up.
rope.
Yeah, he's just kind of like holding onto the rope with one hand. We need one more athletics check for Carrick
Oh, shit.
to climb your way
Oh.
up. So
Nice.
as you're trying to climb your way up and out, Airbomb at the back, the two of you in front, the rocks that have been falling down bounce off the side, one hitting into each of you as you're trying to climb your way out. And you take 2 points of damage as you just see this rock bounce off the side, hit into Beric, then hit into you, Carrick, and then just narrowly miss Airbomb. And you see Carrick just smashed against the cliffside, and then it's tied to his rope, just kind of dangled there. Airbomb is just powering on past you, just hooks an arm around him, just slaps you across the face as hard as he can to try and wake you up, since he's not really a man of medicine. But I'll make it a medicine check anyway. Medicine check. Okay, it doesn't work, but he slaps you across the face. You don't wake up. So he just starts dragging, one hand on the rope, one hand around you, dragging you up the tunnel. Carrick limping behind as you start to see the light come up to you get close to the entrance, the light start to pour in. Airbomb slaps you one more time, shaking you a little bit. Still doesn't wake you up because he doesn't know what he's doing. Do you want to try and medicine check per Beric, who's been knocked out for the third time now? And get him woke back up for the exit out of the tunnel? Or do an Airbomb just keep slapping him across the face, trying to wake him up?
Carrick.
Mm,
Do you want to do the medicine check to wake him up?
yeah.
I think fucking Macaulay needs a slap to wake up.
Yeah.
Okay,
Get your
so,
head out of your ass.
so you see the rock slammed against him had dislocated his shoulder, and you pop it back into place, bandage up around the cuts, splash a bit of water across his face, and again, Beric, vision slowly fades in. You blink yourself awake, like, God, fuck, what happened this time?
My fucking face.
As like Airbomb is like mid getting ready to fucking slap you to wake you up again.
Ah! Stop. Not the face! Not the face!
It's like, oh, Scarface! I thought you were dead. I was trying to slap you back to life.
Appreciate it.
Logic.
and you're like still like partially hooked underneath his arm as he's dragging you up, and you can see the light start to come in through the tunnel, the frozen wasteland stretching out in front of you, the snow falling, and behind you, you just hear a thunderous crack as the rest of the cave and start of the tunnel just completely collapse behind you, dust and smoke flowing up past you out into the open air.
God above.
Do you wanna roll some perception checks as you're looking outside?
Sure. Sick, let me guess. Winter has come.
It's still late autumn. But you would see, as you're still dazed and your eyes trying to focus on the light, and you look out, you do see the white, glistening form of the dragon as it's flying to the northeast in this direction, off into the falling snow and sleet, diving down through the clouds and back up as it disappears out of sight.
Interesting. Where exactly did we come out?
You came out through the tunnel above the crack in the rock where you entered.
Oh, like at the top of the...
Yeah, so you're like 150 feet above the way
Oh,
you
nice.
came. You could use the remainder of your pittance and rope that Ebom's been pulling along behind
Are
him.
we out yet?
You're at the top of the tunnel, 150 feet above the entrance where you went in.
Right.
Which
Yeah,
you're now realizing is where the dragon tunneled its way in since the entrance was too narrow. It just dug its own way through the mountain into this cave of kobolds.
Yeah, I suppose to get down the side, we'll use the rope that Airborne pulled up and use the remaining pittance that. Actually, can I even put them in? Do I even have a hammer anymore? I lose my
do.
hammer. Feel like I probably would have lost my hammer. Like,
Yeah, you would have
Pretty sure I
dropped
have a
on your
hammer.
way up, but I think Carrick does have one as well.
yeah, I'll just
Right.
take yours then, I suppose. Saying that you never use it.
So as
Thieves' tools.
as you're like taking the hammer and the
Occasionally.
rope to look like you're starting to go down, Evan just reaches out. It's like, give it to me. You'll get knocked out on your way down by a rock again. Just takes the hammer and rope off you.
Okay.
As he's just looking at it. It's like, he looks over his
Easy
shoulder.
knock, yeah, go.
How do I use this?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Pin, hammer,
Bang bang.
bang, bang. Connect the rope.
You see him nod as he bangs one into the top where you're standing, loops the rope through, and then start to make its way down. And
Does he do it successfully though? Oh god.
not the best.
Takes him maybe, about
So
3 hours. but,
he's going
you know,
down, and you hear a couple more bang, bang, bang as he's knocking on the pittance, and then a whoop, whoa, as you look over, you see kind of holding onto the rope as he's sliding his way down the rope, and then dangling at the very end, where he's still maybe like at this point 20 feet above the ground, well above a ledge that he can really get onto, and he kind of just slides down the rest of the slope to the ledge and falls on his ass and tumbles over on the ledge. And you see him go, I got it! And then slump back onto the ground. So the rope is secured like halfway down.
Okay.
How far did he fall?
Is he the whole way to the bottom now?
He's pretty much at the bottom.
Okay, so let's just follow him down and see how we get on. Athletics, yeah.
Yous will have advantage on yours since there is now the rope for you to hold on to. Since he had to do it without the rope pretty much secured.
Oh my god!
You're just... So, who's going first here?
I think probably definitely Carrick said that I've been like knocked out a couple of times, so I probably would have
How much is there?
sort of
Much,
let
is there
him
any
start to go
snow
first.
There's quite a lot of
snow.
snow outside.
at the bottom? Oh, sure, just drop in and let you.
That's pretty much the only reason that A-Bomb slid down and did not die. He just smashed into the snow.
Like just jumping into a big pillow.
Oh, it's like kind of sloped down.
It's 100 foot!
Pretty
That'd be
much.
fine.
So, you're climbing your way down. Are you gonna like wait for Carrick to get to the bottom or like go straight after him? Assuming wait till he gets down.
Probably let him get about like 10, 20 meters maybe. Like about halfway, and
Carrick-
then I'll start.
He's easily getting halfway down, getting to the end of where the rope's fastened to the cliff. And then as you start to go down, you get a sudden intense pain in your shoulder that had got dislocated by the last bit of debris that had smashed you and knocked you out. And it's your right arm is kind of fucked up, and you get the sudden pain that almost locks it up in a spasming like action. You can barely control it, and you end up dangling by one hand as you try to recover your now in pain arm. Another possibly permanent injury as you
Great.
recover.
Because I need another one of those.
As you recover and start doing your best to slowly get down without falling. You're getting close to the halfway mark where A-Bomb fell, and then your strength just leaves you and you start to slide down the rest of the mountain and just plow into the side of the snow. Make your acrobatics save to see how gracefully. So
Oh,
you
sorry.
start tumbling down the mountain, and you're like, oh, more like sliding on your breastplate, like the back just scraping against the mountain as you slide down. And then right at the bottom, you get your feet out and just kind of stagger up, walking a bit, and catch yourself on your feet. Like, nailed it.
I nailed it, and then just fall back into the snow, just like.
Ugh. You see A-Bombs like just making snow angles. It's like, ugh.
Ooh, snow angles!
I make snow angles just kind of flopping in the snow. Like, snow angles are fun. Let's do a more fun, and just kind of lies there.
Mark's dead, though.
He is. If you'd
Surprised you lived
rolled
this long.
if you'd rolled the perception to look down in, he had indeed failed his 3 death saving throws to survive.
Yeah, this fuck boy.
On the way out, he bled out on A-Bomb's arm before he even started climbing out.
Fuck.
Either you or him, just saying.
And they're just all
That
standing there.
dragon's gonna fucking pay for this.
A-Bomb's just landed at his snow angle going, yeah. I didn't like Bronze Boy much, but let's kill that fucking dragon.
He liked you even less.
I don't know about yours, but I say we set up camp, get some needed rest, then get after that fucker.
The camp part will do, yeah.
So, just set up a basic little camp here on the side of the mountain, or do you want to travel somewhere to do that?
Probably travel. You know,
Time of day,
a
even,
wee
isn't it?
bit, a wee bit down. Maybe try to get a bit of cover.
Yeah, okay. Find like some rocks, some snowdrifts, camp somewhere there.
Yeah,
Doesn't take you too long. You just have to go a
I
couple
I
hundred
do
meters out.
have
Firewood.
firewood, so
So it doesn't take you too long. You slowly drag yourselves off the side of the mountain, down a bit, and find a cluster of exposed rock that seems to shield you from sight, dipped into the ground, and set up a little camp, little fire, get out your sleeping bags, and just collapse down